Good evening, ladies, gentlemen, and all variations thereof. Ooh. Welcome. It's a Monday. I'm streaming. I don't know why. I felt like it. It happens sometimes. Sometimes I just get an overwhelming urge to exist. Which is weird, because most of the time I feel like doing the opposite. Yeah, welcome everybody. We're doing some World of Madness stuff today. We're doing a little bit of stuff on the server. I got a little bored. And also I started work the other day. We finally started work on episode 31 of the World of Madness series. The YouTube side of things, anyway. It's taken a little while. It's taken a little while to get stuff into traction, as it were. But we are now at the point where it's pretty much finished, aside from one or two final bits and pieces. But today I want to talk about how I have been rendering my videos wrong for the past 10 years. Yeah. Found that out yesterday. That was a thing. That was a bit of knowledge that I acquired the other day. I've been rendering my videos wrong for the past 10 years. Close to 10 years anyway. 9 to 10 years. Before I was doing YouTube, that's for sure. Yeah. That was the thing. Iron golems everywhere. Hold on. Am I using the correct resource packs right now? Yes, I am. Okay. That's fine then. Just making sure. Yeah. So, you may be asking, Lucian, how have you been rendering your videos wrong for the past 10 years? Well. Okay, so. A lot of people use Adobe Premiere Pro, that sort of thing, as their methods of editing. Okay? I do not. I utilize Sony Vegas, which is another common editing software in sort of the YouTube community. Maybe not quite as industry standard as the more well-known Premiere Pro, but almost as close. It is the alternative, as it were. I'm going to go bother lying, by the way. And the other day, I found out that what I see in the preview in Sony Vegas and what is actually there, or what actually renders out. Hello! I'm here. Oh, there you are. I came to bother you. Sorry, I don't have my
Allegedly you're talking, but I'm not hearing anything. Hang on.
What? What do you mean allegedly
There we go,
I'm
okay.
talking?
For some reason my system had decided that it was going to choose the XSplit that is currently unused to tell me what you were saying instead of my actual system sound.
Interesting.
Okay. What are you doing here? What's up?
I'm here to bother you.
Uh-huh. Again?
Yes. Also, I'm...
Is there any particular reason you're here to bother? Yeah? You were saying? I think you were about to answer my
I'm
question.
also here to talk to my chat about the fact that I've been rendering my videos wrong for the past 10 years.
Oh, no.
Oh,
what
yes.
What have you been doing?
Okay, so... Okay, what editing software do you use? Like...
Adobe Premiere.
Yeah. I use Sony Vegas to start with.
Oh, I remember that being popular in the Chaosville days.
It's still relatively popular in that it's useful as a a sort of intro to content creation and a generally useful tool. And it's the one that I'm most familiar with, and I always hated the layout of Premiere. So I always found it easier to work with, right? However, I recently found out that I have been misled by Sony Vegas.
Oh?
Because...
Have you been outputting at like 640p or something?
Oh, no. The resolution and everything, all of that's fine. It's the color space that has been the problem.
Right.
When things show up in the preview for Sony Vegas, they are essentially slightly brighter and have more color than when they are rendered.
That mayhaps explains a thing or two across the content creator like space in general, I think.
Yes. So there is a way to counter this for Sony Vegas, and that's to apply levels to your final product, basically. But Sony Vegas doesn't tell you this. It just renders. It just goes, yep, I'll render this, and it spits out a video file. And most of the time, that video file is just about the same as what you were seeing in the preview. Not quite the same, but just about the same. And you think to yourself, oh, well, it's just because it was a preview, and this looks, I guess, better anyway. But when you are using high contrast dark and light colors,
as you do every single time,
as you do when you are running through the deep dark, for example.
That too, yep.
Yeah. When you render out with Sony Vegas, it squishes the color, the RGB color escape of the video, and cuts off the edges, basically. So anything that's dark grey to black is now just black. And anything that's very light grey to white is now just white.
So you've been posterizing your footage effectively.
Yes, effectively. Now, most of the time, this doesn't make a difference, because most of the time you're not in really, really dark areas. So I've never really noticed.
People don't tend to like being in them.
Yeah, exactly. But then when I was rendering the parts of episode 31 that I needed to render to check this stuff, I saw this problem, this major problem. Now, there is a way to fix it, of course. Sony Vegas comes with those tools inbuilt, but you have to apply them to your footage before you render. Which is a bit annoying when you don't know you're supposed to be doing that.
Yeah. So what do you think of this select system?
Oh, is this... What is this? Oh, this is the witch farm?
The combination slime and witch farm, yes.
The combination slime and witch farm, yeah.
Which
it's
I'm
like
trying to fix today. It's a little bit broken.
What's the other one? The combination Taco Bell Burger King thing? I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know memes, lying. I don't know memes.
I think it's Taco Bell and the combination Taco Bell and Burger King, or I don't know. That is an old meme by most standards.
It is an old meme.
Yeah. I get the feeling that I can probably guess what part of this you're going to be most curious about.
Okay, so I'm seeing composters to keep the hoppers from lagging, right?
Okay, yeah, that was what I thought you were going to find weird, actually, but yes.
No. I mean, I've seen, like, furnaces used in the past, but composters does make sense.
Yeah, because they don't have they're not really an accessible inventory, but they do have one inventory slot.
Yeah.
Whereas a furnace has at least two.
Yeah.
Potentially free. So.
Technically 3. Two
Yeah.
inputs, one
It's got
output.
the output as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
So when hoppers have like when hoppers are placed in the world, they are constantly checking for item entities above them. The only time that they stop doing that is when there is a tile entity above them that has an inventory. But then they are checking every individual slot of that tile entity every single time.
thusly, composters only have one inventory slot, so they only
Yeah.
ever need to check the one.
Yeah, so they're quick and done, one and done.
Yeah.
Which significantly reduces lag than if I just left all of these composters like open air.
Yeah.
That
That makes
said,
sense.
that said, this is probably still heavily overkill for a system of this size.
I mean,
This
I don't...
is the only thing happening here, and nonetheless, it is constantly like it's not very big.
I wouldn't say it's overkill, I would say it's a safety precaution, in case in the future you add more builds to the area that have many hoppers.
Yeah, which might come up later today. We'll see.
It's future-proofing, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've got single chest plus some barrels storage for most of the drops that come out of this, plus a silo for redstone and a silo for slime that was relocated from downstairs.
Not bad.
Nice cat ears. Don't know how much do they set you back? These are actually like Razer Capcom like add-on. These aren't actually attached to the headset because I did used to have the Razer cat ear headphones, and then they broke and I realized they were really expensive. So I budgeted by just getting the like ones you can like attach to basically any headset.
Yeah.
Real
Maybe I should
real
get myself
simple.
a pair.
Yeah, I used to have. I've actually gone through like 2 different pairs of accent wear headphones, which were not only cat ears, not only LED cat ears, they had speakers built into them, and they were gorgeous. But they're
I
hard to come by
remember
now
those,
because they were kind of a limited run.
actually.
Yeah, they
I
were great.
remember. God, that just goes to show how long it's been.
That you remember it.
That I remember it at all is a surprise, but you know.
Yeah, so let's see. We're getting slime heads, slime balls, redstone dust, gunpowder, glowstone dust, sugar, spider eyes, glass bottles, and sticks out of this farm. We're actually getting a little bit more than that because we're also getting arrows, rotten flesh, and bones. But I'm just like avoiding those for those.
I mean, I would think you could void the sticks as well, you know?
You'd be. How many ladders did we just climb up to get here?
I mean, yeah, but like...
Sticks are also used in fences.
Yeah, I can get like 3
and
stacks
torches,
of sticks
like
from...
redstone torches.
I can get 3 stacks of sticks from half a stack of logs, at the very least. I don't know math, so maybe that's wrong, but you get what I mean. They're not exactly... Ooh, okay. They're not exactly difficult to come by.
Yeah, but here they're just convenient.
I guess.
Like, I don't have to worry about crafting even at all, they're just right there. In abundance, no less. But the reason that we get the arrows, bones, and rotten flesh is because there's something weird about the witch hut that I'm using, I think. In that the bottom 2 floors are exclusively spawning witches.
Okay.
But the top floor is only dominantly spawning witches.
Okay.
So every so often, a creeper, a skeleton, a zombie, or whatnot also spawns there.
Interesting.
Assuming the word you just said was interesting.
I did say the word interesting. Yes.
Okay, yeah. So consequently, other things get mixed in, so I've just sort of like left out a filter for that, and that just leads to them getting voided eventually, along
That
with any
makes
of the
sense, I
overflow.
suppose.
It has a pretty substantial overflow capacity at the very least.
Granite. Duck.
Yes, it's a marker.
Oh, I see.
Here is directly over the witch farm.
Ah. Okay, and at the
Yeah.
end, I'm guessing is the slime farm.
Correct. Yeah,
Okay.
and they all go to they go to the same exact portal. After I figured that out, which is a pain in the neck, which is also why that portal for the walkway is so high off the ground. If anyone has noticed, my levels are lower than they were last stream. It's not
I'm
because I've
guessing you
enchanted
died.
something. It's because I went through a portal and had to deal with about 12 witches.
Fun.
Yeah. And my armor is not horrible. It could certainly be a lot better, but it's not horrible. But witches deal in armor bypassing damage for the most part, and with enough poison, it just sort of adds up.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But the problem I have right now, that I need to solve today, is witches and slimes are from two different eras of Minecraft. Slimes are complete and total idiots. They have mainly one purpose in life, which is to jump. They don't care where they're going with that jump. They don't care what's on the end of that jump. Ideally, they're pointing at, like, an enemy or something that's somebody that they want to eat. But generally speaking, slimes have, like, a timer that makes them periodically jump. But yeah, they're complete idiots. They don't care pretty much what's at the other end of it. They will jump no matter what. Which is why, in the previous installment of this particular farm, there were never any slimes left behind in the portal. Because they would just stand there and then jump and be out of it.
Yeah.
They didn't care what else was where. Witches are smarter than that, in that they actually have a pathfinder. Which means they understand that if they walk off a given ledge, they will take falling damage. So they avoid doing that under most cases, like most of the original mobs do, but not the slimes. And that leads to a considerable problem, which, let's see, we're the only ones on the server, we're right above the spawning platforms, we should be able to see this now if we head back through the walkway.
Okay. Under the granite?
Under the granite, yes. I'll put something more substantive here once I've solved this problem, I guess.
I mean, I guess you could put, like, an extra bit of standing room, but...
Yeah. So, yeah, this is the problem.
Oh, I see.
They will wander about and knock each other over occasionally, like that, but they will never intentionally walk off the ledge. Which leads to them just hanging out up here. And because they're in a portal, their portal countdown never resets. So they are there until they respawn, or until something else shows up to knock them out.
Right.
So I need to try and figure out a solution to this, and I puzzled about trying to figure out how to do it, because the classic method would be that the problem here is that bottom row of obsidian in the portal.
Yeah. And
if I could get rid of that,
method would be to remove it.
Yeah, if I just remove that obsidian layer, I could just have them go into a full-blown dead drop, wouldn't have to worry about their pathfinding at all. No concerns.
However, in order to do that, you need to suppress the server memory.
In order to do that, I would need to break the server, basically, yes. The classic way to do this... Let's just stand away from them, because they are noisier than the portal somehow. The classic way to do it is called portal slicing. It is done using a form of exploit called update suppression.
Yes.
And that involves basically having so many block updates happening at once that the server just stops tracking them.
And ignores the fact that the portal has been broken.
It allows you to violate the game state in a way that it normally wouldn't require by just giving it too much to think about. That, unfortunately, has been patched. Or, at the very least, has been patched in a way that makes it now grossly impractical for me to replicate.
For 1.20?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
The other solution, or the more modern solution after that was patched out, is called class cast exception.
Okay.
Which
that
basically means...
dangerous.
It's yeah, as a programmer, that scares me.
I mean,
basically,
hearing the
means...
word exception in relation to Minecraft in general terrifies me. I've seen that so many times with mods.
Oh yeah. Basically, that... Long and short of it is, that means using something similar, or like vastly more massive than update suppression was, to trick the server into thinking a shulker box or some other tile entity is a lectern.
Okay.
And then every time it tries to check that tile entity, it causes a class cast exception that makes the whole thing stop for a hot second, allowing you to violate the game state again.
Right.
Suffice it to say, all of the solutions are either horrifically massive, outdated, or would require me, the server admin, to break the server.
Yeah.
And all of which makes me know that it would be so much easier for me to just remove the obsidian and then use the /fill command to replace the portal.
Yes, but then that would be cheating.
Which, yes, even I am willing to say that would be cheating. That violates my that violates my ethos that I will use my admin powers purely for convenience in the pursuit of content creation. That is
so cheating.
That is saving time chiefly.
Technically still cheating, but go ahead.
Yeah,
I'm listening.
Yeah,
I'm listening.
There's a spectrum.
Is there though, line?
There is a spectrum between me hopping into spectator mode for 5 seconds so I can see if I'm about to, like, go off in the complete wrong direction to dig into something, versus me just giving myself 2,000 diamonds.
I mean, yes, I suppose.
Yeah, that is
but
my
there
that is
are
my
ways
moral
to
argument
do that
here.
without being as cheaty, you know.
Yes, spending the time to mine it all.
Or
as long as I know where it is, anyways.
Or getting a camera drone that doesn't go through blocks.
Yeah.
Like I have.
Yeah. And anyways, I have ruled that breaking the portal, therefore, is beyond practical feasibility and certainly outside of legality in terms of my own ethics.
Mm-hmm.
So I need some new solution to try and get the witches out of the portal. And zombies, creepers, skeletons, that kind of thing, really easy to do. Because you just need to put the right mob or the right block on one side and they'll happily walk towards it like idiots. Like, creepers are afraid of cats, zombies will happily try to stomp on turtle eggs, that's a notorious one, so on and so forth. Witches have none of that.
Yeah.
They have no interactions with other mobs. If they, they kind of do if they're spawned from a raid, but that is it. So I can't just, have a mob or something nearby to just lure them out.
Yeah.
There was a suggestion I was given of using a snowman, but we're in hell, so they melt.
Okay, quick question. Why don't you just use trapdoors?
Partially because that would still be relying on their pathfinding. They would still need to wander into the area that they think erroneously they stand on before they will drop.
Well, yes. But
and
if there's
partially
trapdoors,
because... Yeah, the next problem is that because this is a free wide drop to accommodate the large scale of slimes, it's actually too far for that to work.
Oh.
If it was 2 blocks wide, no problem. But because it's free, there's nothing I can do about that middle step that won't that will cause them to fall down, but then will stop the slimes.
Yeah. Okay.
So, somebody on Reddit had a frankly utterly absurd and comically ludicrous solution that I'm going to try today, which is that I'm going to fill the portal with boats with chicks in them.
Ooh. Okay. That...
Because what happens is, because the chickens are in the boat, and because the boat has a passenger, it doesn't go through the portal. But it's still an entity with its own bounding box and collision. So when the witches spawn in from being teleported from the overworld, they collide with the boat and the chicken, and they get knocked out of the portal.
Okay. How are you going to keep the boat from getting knocked out of the portal?
Boats are not knocked about by mobs.
You sure about that?
Yeah, they're barely knocked about by us, honestly.
Oh. That's actually... Yeah, okay.
And this is a half slab, so...
I can see how that could work.
Yeah. So step 1 is get rid of that witch.
Oh, that's easy enough.
Yeah, we just murder it.
Exactly.
Come on.
Oh, I'm out of arrows.
You realize this now?
Well, I don't carry an infinity bow. I barely carry a bow, in fairness.
I mean, I don't carry infinity either.
Like, I don't actually have a proper bow. I have a single unenchanted bow that I've had for like ages because I stole it off a skeleton, but I never really use it. And apparently I put my arrows away at some point, so...
Okay. Fill this in for a hot minute so I don't end up falling 30 blocks. Admittedly won't kill me, but, you know, it'll be unpleasant.
Where are you getting the chickens from?
Eggs.
Oh wow, you just have an inventory full of eggs. Okay.
I have 6 stacks of eggs, which is to say I have 3 stacks. Well, which is to say I have 1.5 stacks of eggs.
So yeah, you
Because
have
they only stack to 16.
And you have about a, what, 30% chance per egg? I think?
Yeah.
Or is it a 1 in 8 chance? I don't quite remember.
Hell if I remember. Let me have a look here.
I know
This is not an aspect that I am frequently, like, tasked with remembering. Okay, when you're thrown by a dispenser or by pressing the use button, an egg has a 1 in 8 or 12.5% chance of spawning a chick.
Yeah, that's what it was.
If that occurs, there is a 3.125% chance of spawning 3 additional chicks.
So, on average, you will get, with there being 6 stacks of eggs, so you have the possibility of getting 6 eggs out of 6 chickens on average out of this, I think.
Pretty much. Yeah.
No, 12 chickens. Sorry. Hopefully that's enough.
Hopefully. I need about 14, so... Probably going to need more eggs, but we can at least make a start on this. I don't have a crafting table up here, and my inventory is not as yet full of boats.
But yes, today I was talking to chat about... Oh, hold on. Today I was talking to chat about how about my rendering issues with Sony Vegas. So essentially, what I found out today, for those of you who are recently arrived in chat, is that I have been rendering my videos wrong for the past 10 years. Since the very
Professional content creator.
Professional content creator, everybody. I've been rendering my videos wrong for the past 10 years. Ever since I first started using Sony Vegas, essentially. And because of this, and not intentional in the slightest, I should point out. That looks kind of weird. Not intentional in the slightest, but I have essentially been rendering my videos wrong. And I found out I found out yesterday that I had been rendering my videos wrong. When I tried doing a test render, because I do this whenever I'm rendering something new with some new things that I haven't tried before, I always do a test render of my video. And I was doing a test render of The World of Madness episode 31, Spiraling Downwards, which should hopefully be out on, I want to say, either Tuesday or Thursday? We'll see. Regardless, I did a test render, and the whole video, every segment that was in the deep dark was just so dark in a way that the video preview did not show. The video preview was like, oh yes, it's all these shades of grey and all of this really nice color grading and everything. And I rendered it and it's like, no, everything is pitch black. Deal with it. And I was like, no, I don't want to deal with this. This is awful. So, you having fun there, Lying?
I'm trying. This might be another outdated method by the looks of it. We'll see.
Well, boats were changed, remember, so...
They were changed to be 2 capacity, yes.
Yeah.
But,
anyway,
well,
what I was saying... So, I found out that there is a process for making the video show up as intended. Because essentially, the way that the video renders, or the video preview shows, it shows it in computer output mode. But the way the video wants you to see it is in studio output mode. So essentially, what it's doing is it's taking the studio version of the video and downgrading it to the computer version of the video. But it's already at the computer version of the video, so it immediately downgrades it further, to the point where the color space that it's using gets chopped off on the sides, and all of the color just sort of buggers up, which is really annoying. So I figured out how to make that look a bit better. And I also found out that Vegas has a little button called Smart Upscale, which I've always had this issue with my videos where sort of the edges of like blocks and Minecraft characters always look a little bit jagged, right?
Oh, yeah, the aliasing-ish. I know what you mean.
Well, it's not so much an aliasing issue as a resolution issue, actually. But I took a look at it, and Smart Upscaling basically allows me to turn that entire sort of system and make it so that it doesn't look like the edges are very slightly jagged and pixelated.
Yeah, on that note, there's a YouTuber called System Z, who has gone down way in quality recently, but more specifically, I have one major massive gripe with him.
Oh.
Well, besides the other major massive gripe I have with him, which is that he likes to see Minecraft's rendered with a white outline on basically everything.
Right.
And it screams rendering error to me. But he made a mod that adds that no matter what version he's playing, basically.
Oh,
and
God.
It looks so garbage to me.
I can see it in a thumbnail. I can see it in a thumbnail, right? Because a thumbnail is tiny and you want to outline things.
I can see it in a thumbnail, I can see it in the like Mojang official animations that they do occasionally. In video content, Minecraft is too like visually dense for it, in my books.
I would agree. I don't think Minecraft is meant to look like Borderlands.
And Borderlands was built from the bottom up to be Borderlands, so...
Yeah. But yeah.
Okay. Rules back in position. Chickens are primed.
Alright. Like the portal, I guess.
Yeah, portal's lit. Now we get to see if this actually works.
Alright, yeah.
We come back and there's a boat down below that we know things went wrong.
Actually, I can stay on this side of the portal to see if it works while you go through, because we can still chat through voice chat.
True. You might be loading, like, spawns below you. So it might be better if you wait up at the walkway.
Yeah, I'll wait up at the top of the ladder. But yeah. So essentially I found the option called Smart Upscaling, I found the levels option, all of this stuff. I also found out that there is a way to apply a single effect. Oh, which is coming through. Which is not getting knocked off.
Are they on top of the boats?
Yes.
Thought as much. Okay, I need another layer of chicken boats.
Well, they are getting knocked off, but it seems like the witches are it seems like the boats are a little too close to one side, so the witches can kind of sit on the ledge on one specific point.
Boats have a larger hitbox than that, I think.
Well, one of them managed
Boats have a fairly chunky hitbox.
One of them managed to stand on the edge of the obsidian and then climb up on the boat. That seemed... It's that one boat that's kind of sticking out at an angle. The one that it's standing on right now. Oh, and now they are actually just teleporting
Yeah.
on the...
Yeah. Oh no, not the chickens.
Well, there go the chickens.
Well, there go some of the chickens.
But yeah, as I was saying, I found out about smart upscaling. I found out about the levels effect that actually makes the video look like the preview and not like garbage. And I found out that there is one track that applies that same effect to everything at the same time that doesn't show up on the actual edit, which is amazing that it took me this long to actually find out about that stuff. But in fairness, when I was doing this stuff in media class, we used Premiere. We did not use Vegas. So there was nobody to
Premiere
teach me that this was a
pricier,
thing.
is my understanding, but worth it. Premiere is my understanding is Premiere is pricier, but worth it.
I wouldn't say that, actually.
How?
I would say that Premiere
You'd say it's
is
not worth it?
I would say that Premiere, before it became a cloud-based service, was worth it.
There, that is fair.
And I would also say that Premiere is worth it in a situation where you need, what's the word? Where you need essentially Hollywood quality. Right? But that it's not that useful in a situation where you need YouTube quality, because it's more expensive, generally isn't as intuitive, because realistically, unless you're using a lot of After Effects stuff, it's not going to be as useful, in my opinion.
There's a bunch of entities at the bottom of this pit, and I have no idea what they are. Go have a look.
There's probably stuff under the pit.
No, I'm seeing like entity outlines on top of the hoppers.
Looks like XP bubbles.
No, maybe. That makes sense.
Yeah, because you killed some witches, so the XP dropped.
Yeah. Witches were killed, yes.
But yeah, it's... I would say that... Oh dear.
I'm okay. It's fine. That was calculated.
Alright.
That was deliberate.
Yeah, I would say that Premiere is good if you need an editing software that is industry standard, that everybody knows how to use. But it's less useful in a situation where what you're trying to do may not always be industry standard. And honestly, Sony Vegas for me is so much easier to grasp. Like,
So you're saying I don't need industry standard equipment to make YouTube videos?
well, yeah, pretty much. I mean,
Oh,
realistically...
so I should totally cancel that that red camera order that I made years and years and years and years and years ago to film a tech review channel.
Yeah, I mean... Is that a Linus Tech Tips joke?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
The man uses better cameras than we used to film the first Avatar for his tech review channel.
Yeah, but in fairness, it's a pretty big media channel now, so...
It's still a YouTube channel. He doesn't even have to my knowledge, he doesn't even have his own
it's not
website
one YouTube channel, in fairness. It's like 6 at this point.
Well, that ain't gonna like impact his video quality, only his editing quality.
True. Well, in fairness, they don't use the reds anymore, because...
Thank God.
They're
Probably because they
ridiculous.
realized it's a massive pain in the neck to use.
Yeah,
You're just
it's-
making a weekly YouTube video.
I mean,
Alright, came down.
you've still got the slow-mo guys who use the phantom cameras.
Yeah, but for them it makes perfect sense.
For them, it makes perfect sense, because, yeah, but, like...
You need because you only get good slow-mo on industry standard cameras, specialized cameras that can shoot for seconds at a time.
At the end of the day, I would say that the Premiere is good as an industry standard, but is useless in the long run for a small content creator because realistically, you will always pay more than you make out of it as a small content creator. If you're a large content creator and you have a team to work with, yes, I would say it's a decent investment. But honestly, I prefer Vegas just because it's so much easier as a small content creator to work with. And it doesn't need as much investment in the long run. It's easier to work with to start with, and it's generally speaking just more intuitive, honestly, than sort of the general general industry standard. And like the industry,
I'm gonna get 8 chickens out of these 16 eggs. I don't think I'm gonna make this.
Fingers
I say it and
crossed.
I instantly spawn a chicken. Okay.
Yeah, as Farrell's saying in chat, Premiere used to be good, then they started charging an arm and a leg for it every other month, and changing features all the time.
Yeah.
Like, that, one of the things that I will say about Sony Vegas is, yes, they do have a subscription model, but also they have a button that says purchase permanent license. Which...
Yep.
And it's just one piece of software. Yes, the software gets upgraded and renewed every 2 years or so, but they always put out noticeable upgrades to the software. I'm still using Sony Vegas 15, and they're on 21 at this point. So
Yeah,
you know,
that's what I'm on. Because I actually pay the subscription because I also use After Effects and other things, so it's worth it.
you're on. Wait, what are you on?
I think I'm on 21. It's been a hot minute since I checked exactly.
You're on Sony Vegas 21.
Oh, not Sony Vegas. No.
Yeah,
Premiere.
exactly. That's what I was saying.
Premiere's what I'm
I'm
talking
on
about.
Sony Vegas 15, and like Sony Vegas is all the way up to 21 on the software numbers at this point. That's what I was saying. And like realistically, yes, there are loads of improvements with 21, but 15 works just as well as it did like 10 years ago, and well, no, like 9 years ago, which was when it came out, I think. But like at the end of the day, Sony Vegas is it's always kept the same layout and the same styles. And
So it's just what you're used to?
yeah, it's just what I'm used to. And realistically, it's a lot of people, especially like a lot of neurodivergent people, have said that its layout is easier to understand than that of Premiere right off the bat. And I agree.
Yeah, I could believe that.
So yeah.
Alright, I need more eggs, so we're going to hell, I'm afraid.
We're
Which is different
going
from
to
this
hell for eggs. I see.
Yep. Like, you were just talking about video quality, we're about to go to hell for audio quality.
Oh wow, okay. But yeah, the other thing is, like, with Sony Vegas 21 as well, they've been updating it to the point where they actually have an inbuilt After Effects style suite in it.
Oh, nice.
So instead of like having 2 separate programs for the whole thing, it's actually just kind of one. It's not as like heavy as the After Effects suite. It's still designed for a more sort of light workload, but it's not like as it was with Sony Vegas 15, where there is no After Effects component to Vegas. Which is why I still use like random green screen clips that are taken off of YouTube and stuff like that.
Oh.
Which, you know, some of them work really well and some of them work awfully.
Okay. Take a few steps towards that lava.
Wow. It's really not
Yep.
that noisy.
It's pretty noisy.
Maybe that's because I have my
It's-
mob
it's
sound
quieter-
set to 50%.
Yeah, that would probably be it. It's a bit quieter since I redid the redstone a bit. Because Psy's design, to their credit, was extremely efficient. It was just it was just stone here and then 2 observers facing each other, which meant it was triggering both of the dispensers.
But it was constantly triggering.
Absolutely constant, yes. Utter hell on the audio. And to be fair, there's like 48 chickens here, so it's still pretty bad. But
So, where do you get the eggs?
easy, just turn off the dispensers by lifting these target books.
Okay, but these... Oh. But these dispensers are empty, is my point.
Yes, but because there's 48 chickens, we should see eggs pretty quickly. There's already one right there. In the dispenser you just looked at.
One egg.
Yeah.
Yep. This is gonna take a while, isn't it?
It is, yes. We're gonna be stood here a bit.
Well, fair enough. But yeah, it's... I do wish that Adobe hadn't gone, like, subscription. Right.
Yeah, that would be nice. But when you are the industry standard, that basically means if you charge a subscription, you are bleeding the entire industry for a lot of money. So
Yep.
they would kind of, in the same way that I can't necessarily begrudge a VPN service for stealing your data, they would kind of be idiots not to.
Yeah, but also,
And
isn't
I
that
would
kind
say
of
it's a good
against
thing.
the privacy policy of a VPN service?
Well, tell it to Nord. But yeah, like I won't say it's a good thing for them to do it, but it is so much money just being left on the table.
Yes.
So, and we
do
live in
get
late stage
that.
capitalism. You gotta make a buck.
Yeah, I do get that, but also like they could, I don't know, let us at least still have the permanent license, like as an option, like Vegas does.
Or at the very least, let you keep older versions and just stop updating them
Yeah,
if you don't have the
exactly,
subscription.
like Vegas does. As I said, I still have my license for Sony Vegas 15. I've been using it for nigh on 6 years now. Before that, I used to use a pirated copy of 14 and 13. But it was easy enough to get. And then I got my current one through Humble Bundle. I got it for like 15 quid.
Identity scrubbing services that will in turn need to know all that private information so they know what needs to be scrubbed everywhere else, making your data more valuable to them. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I got my copy of Sony Vegas 15 maybe about 5 years ago at this point through Humble Bundle. It was 15 quid plus a bunch of like other tech software, video editing and audio editing software. Now, I have the option to either keep my current video editing software or upgrade to Sony Vegas 21 for like 100 quid less than it currently costs if I trade in my old copy. Which sounds pretty decent. Like, I still have the software. Still have the old software, and if I'm not going to be using it anymore, I might as well trade it in and get a discount, you know?
Lucian, I can't actually see your chat, weirdly enough.
What do you mean you can't see my chat?
I'm going to your Twitch TV channel, and I'm seeing I need a time machine, apparently.
Interesting. I can see my chat. Lydia just said sunny side up for eggs.
Apparently your channel doesn't exist, from what I can see.
That's weird.
Are you streaming on YouTube right now?
I'm streaming on both, yeah. I'm multi-streaming.
Interesting. Yeah, your channel just doesn't exist, which is weird because it's also in my sidebar as live.
Yeah, okay, so Twitch has been having some weird stuff.
Yeah, there's no underscores now.
Yeah, there's no underscores. Yeah,
Huh.
the underscores have vanished.
Was that a
They've
thing
gone.
you did?
Oh, yes. I removed, like, look at my name in game.
Yeah, I guess that's... You are nothing if not consistent. Okay, well that explains why
yeah.
I've not been able to see your stream and or chat for weeks.
It's literally been, like, 5 days. Less.
Well,
Less
it's been
than
a fair
5
few
days.
times I've checked that, it's just been gone. Anyways. Yeah.
But yeah,
You like MC without white lines? Yeah, you and me both, Lydia. I know you said that like 15 minutes ago, but I'm only seeing that in chat now.
But yeah, it's I was I was looking at all my YouTube and Twitch stuff, and I was like, it was inconsistent because it was like some of this has spaces and some of this has underscores, and none of it really fits together. And I was like, well, what if I just remove the underscores, and then we've got spaces and just the full word sort of thing in the Littlewood style, as it were. Never mind.
Okay.
Just like no more underscores, basically, is what it's come down to. I'll either have the full spaces and dot on the V, or just no spaces and dot. Like, instead of like having to some games going, oh yes, we let you have spaces and alphanumeric characters and all of this stuff, and some games going, no, you are not allowed spaces, you are not allowed underscores, you are not allowed dots, you are only allowed letters and numbers, and we won't even let you capitalize. And I'm like, at least give me my capital letters. You know?
Yeah. Now just leaving a note for Sai. I just checked what the game rule was set to.
I mean, yeah.
Well, I've got nearly a stack of eggs so far. Annoyingly, there's not really there's not really a better way to make an egg farm, as it were, other than to just have a lot of chickens. So
yeah, I mean,
you're beholden to their time. Like,
the best way to make an egg farm is realistically to have a 2x2 cell with hoppers and just millions of chickens.
Just wait, basically.
Yeah.
Let's see. Every adult chicken lays an egg item every 5 to 10 minutes. So here it's going to be in the region of about 48 every 5 to 10 minutes, logically. Which, it's not the worst. You just gotta tolerate being next to all the chickens, really.
Yeah, that's fair. But yeah, I was honestly looking at the Sony Vegas software today, and I was thinking to myself, I should probably upgrade at some point. Because like one of the big things that they've got in the new Sony Vegas stuff is literally just a video effect for motion tracking. Because they don't have motion tracking in the old Sony Vegas software. Motion tracking basically isn't a thing. You have to do it manually, which is, needless to say, a little bit painful.
Yeah, for that I generally go to After Effects or Vuju, but those are both also industry standard systems. So it's massive overkill for what I'm usually doing, but I'd rather be overkill than underkill.
Yeah, no, that's fair. But yeah,
we're being intensely inside baseball today, aren't we?
Are we?
Yeah, we're inside baseball is to like discuss like industry work and whatnot.
Oh well,
like we're discussing things that might come up at like an industry convention.
Yeah, like TwitchCon and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, so what bitrate are you running, and are you doing that through OBS or XSplit and all sorts? It's like
OBS.
I feel like we're either alienating our audience or we are lulling them to sleep. So
I mean, isn't that what we usually do?
Yeah, I guess that.
Oh boy. But yeah, I have been thinking about upgrading my editing software because having motion tracking would be very useful. And I
will say, Vuju is very expensive, so I would recommend avoiding that if you can.
Well, as I said, Sony Vegas 21 is it's got motion tracking, unlike Sony Vegas 15. So it's a lot of things have been added in that are like really useful and technically have been in like the industry standard stuff for a few years now. But the latest version of the motion tracking for Sony Vegas has been in since 19. So it's been it's been in less time than it's been in After Effects, but Sony Vegas isn't a dedicated, like, post-production sort of system. It's a full-on editing suite.
Yeah.
So it's different use cases. And being able to have motion tracking inside the, like, distinct editing suite is, in my opinion, much more useful, I guess? I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
I'm dialing the chickens down to 5% before they drive around the bend.
I have chicken set to 50% and my master volume set to 75%, so...
Yeah, my master volume's usually like 35.
But yeah.
Okay, I've got two...
I mean, in fairness, if we wanted to get away from
eggs.
the chickens, we could just stand over here.
Yeah, I've got 34 eggs, which is equivalent to about 8 times 4? Yeah, so that's about... Assuming that the probability of chicken hatching is... Yeah, that it should equal about 4 chickens. Okay. I need, like, 6, so... I'm getting there, well, I'm getting there.
One day, perhaps, you will get chickens. More so than you already have, anyway.
Well, you know me, I love the chicks.
I honestly can't... I can only half tell whether that was sarcasm or not. Like, the way you said that in such a deadpan tone was like... I can't really tell.
I mean, I grew up with, like, Johnny Bravo on TV, so I honestly... referring to, like, women... Yeah, that's Elvis, you dick.
Well,
but,
yes, but, like, Johnny Bravo was basically based on Elvis in some ways.
Yeah, he was based on a certain kind of machismo.
Yeah.
Yeah, but referring to women as chicks feels so, like, 1940s to me. Or something like that. Like, it feels grossly outdated. I don't know what they're called by... I don't know what they're called. I don't know what they're called these days. You know, like women are a strange alien creature from...
Yes, women are strange alien creatures from Venus. We all know this. Oh, God.
Well, I'm from a binary star system, see, so who knows? Well, actually, no, I'm from a non-binary star system.
I'm from a non-binary star system. I don't know what you're on about.
Let's see, so, hang on. Women are from Venus, men are from Mars. Where do non-binary people come from in this weird, like, system?
We come from Jupiter.
Jupiter? Why specifically Jupiter?
Big ball of gas?
You're saying we have gastrointestinal problems?
No,
or that we're full of hot air?
We could say we come from Pluto. Like, because... it's not really considered a planet anymore, but it used to be. And non-binary people used to be considered people, and nowadays people don't consider us as people, they just consider us as insane. But, you know.
Yeah. I see, if I was gonna make the argument for Jupiter, I would say it's because it has its own system of orbiting moons, which is symbolic of the many ways one can be non-binary. But
yeah, but you could also say that we come from
If you want to say it's because
Uranus.
we're full of hot air and considered insane, then sure.
I mean, that, and as I said, that's why I'd say we'd be from Pluto, because, like, once considered a planet, once considered a gender, not considered a gender anymore, etc., etc.
I'm trying to remember. Pluto is named for Hades and mythology. Was Jupiter... Jupiter was either Zeus or Kronos, and I can't remember which one.
I think Jupiter is Zeus, because Jupiter is...
Admittedly, the primary way that I remember which is which is remembering a very specific episode of the Hercules animated series.
Fair enough.
Because
mean,
there
a
was an
lot of-
episode where, like, Icarus, who's, like, his, like, best bud, like, goes to Rome, and then the Greek gods show up in the sky at the end for some reason, and he's just like, okay, so you can be Ares, you can be Mars, you can be, Venus, and so on and so forth. And that's the only reason I remember any of them.
I mean, the only reason I remember, like, Roman gods specifically, not Greek gods. Greek gods I mainly remembered because of Percy Jackson.
Okay.
Which, the book series, I should point out, not the TV show and films, which were disasters. Book series were relatively alright. But no, the reason I remember Roman gods is because of Asterix and Obelix.
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah.
I remember Asterix and Obelix for Asterix and Obelix, but
Well, yeah.
admittedly
But,
they were
like-
much harder to get in a language I spoke as a kid, so...
Well, I got them in Portugal. So I got them in Portuguese. Because that's where I lived at the time. But it was like... I never actually read the comics. Because I was like 11 when I first read the books, right? So I didn't actually read the books. I just looked at the pages and interpreted from there. And later on, I did go back and actually like read some of them when I could actually understand them. But at the time, I was like half a year into living in a new country, and I had no idea what specific things meant and were. So, yeah, that was fun. I think we're here.
I like that players in the like passenger seat of a boat apparently have like chicken head stabilization. We're always facing the exact same direction, no matter how the thing spins.
Yeah, I mean, makes sense to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's kind of how I remember like Roman gods. By Jupiter, as Caesar cries when the Gauls
frequently
come by and trash their latest outpost, etc., etc.
Yeah. What a weird guy Jupiter was. What a weird guy Caesar was. Like Jupiter, of course, was extremely weird because all the Greek gods were. But nonetheless.
Yes, I mean, I do love that nowadays we're seeing some very interesting modern interpretations of like Hades and Persephone and stuff. So it's interesting to me that we're seeing so many like, because we had like Hades as like an entire series, and that, well, not series, as like a whole game, and that was fantastic. But in fairness, it was made by Supergiant, and Supergiant have a reputation for making some incredibly cool things.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Is this set of boats going to be stable?
I hope so. It should. And if
I'm
remove
just
the
looking
stone,
at them,
it should
and
drop
they're at
onto
all
them.
odd angles. So
They're all at odd angles, but their bounding box is still aligned.
oh, he just kind of turns. Okay, never mind then.
Yeah. Like
Rude.
I feel like I've had this discussion on my programming streams that Minecraft is very limited in a lot of ways. So bounding boxes are in a fixed orientation. Okay, I've got 32 eggs and I need 2 more chickens.
You can do it, Lion. That's gonna have jinxed you.
1. Okay, last chicken. Nope, we're into the next sack. Trending down.
Yeah.
There we go. 6 eggs left. Enough for a pair of omelets.
A pair of omelets. How many eggs do you use per omelet?
Yeah, 3 egg omelette, that's a pretty nice omelette.
I use 2 eggs per omelette. That's enough for me.
Well...
Then again, maybe I'm not getting enough protein in my diet.
Yep. This, so I can actually put it down. Okay, dropping nicely. So that will hopefully prompt the shoving mechanism, as it were, of the bounding box to like get them out. Let's see, I guess. Second, mostly I'm just glad I can light it from the top, because otherwise,
those chickens would burn.
Oh yeah. Okay, let's give this another shot.
I shall go out and see the rain.
Yeah, kiss the lucky granite.
What?
Kiss the lucky granite. It's like a Blarney stone, but for witches.
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay. First witch in got shoved out immediately.
Oh, that's good.
Just gotta wait and see what the aggregate is. Hopefully this won't mean that I end up with, like, a bunch of eggs in the system. But if I end up in the sorting system here, they'll just get spat out of the, oh, they'll get immediately dropped into lava. Ugh. Unfortunate.
That's not the worst thing to happen to an egg, honestly.
Yep.
It could get put in a chicken battery farm, like you have back at home.
Yes.
Because that's literally what it is. You are battery farming those chickens.
It wasn't my idea. It certainly wasn't my design. And Minecraft has something of a history of Minecraft has something of a history of unfortunately unethical gameplay decisions, shall we say?
How are we looking?
Yeah, so far we've had like 5 or so witches, I think, come through, and they've all been immediately shoved out.
Oh, good.
And the boats have not moved an iota.
Well, it seems to be working then.
Yeah, I think we got it.
Wonderful. But yeah, here's a question for chat, actually. I have been pondering about the purchase of a new microphone.
Oh boy.
Now, I've been using this microphone for... I want to say like 6 years now? So it's served me well. I should point out, this is my second version of this microphone. Because my first version only lasted a year before the casing cracked, and I had to get a new one. But before then, the first one was really good. So I just picked up the same one because it was really cheap and really good. Where have you gone?
I'm currently at the spawning position of the witches.
Oh, I see. We must have passed each other in the portal.
Presumably.
Because I came back to the farm. But yes. So I have been thinking about getting a new microphone because this one, as good as it is also... Okay. For those of you who don't know what my microphone is, it is called a Samson Go. It is about...
I've never heard of that model.
Samson is actually a relatively decent, like, microphone audio, like, tech brand. But it's very small.
They've certainly got history.
Like, it's very small. Like, not many people know about them. So, I picked up a Samson Go.
I guess they're cheaply just, like, thought of as, like a telecommunications company.
Kind of, I guess.
But to have decent telecommunications equipment, you need good microphones, so...
Yeah, I guess. But I picked up the Samson Go for like 30 quid, right? Off of Amazon one day because I was like, I need a new microphone. The internal microphone in my laptop is not doing it, right? And so I picked up a new microphone, which was this tiny little Samsung Go thing. It is the size of half my palm. That's how small it is. It is a tiny, tiny little condenser microphone. And it's really good. It's really, really good. But also, it's not as good as it could be, you know? It's like, the audio quality is fine, in quotation marks. In that, yeah, it's fine, but it's not great. It's not amazing, and it could be better. So, I've been thinking, maybe I should upgrade. Maybe I should get a new one.
How is there cobblestone in here?
Because I don't have silk touch on my pickaxe.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. But yeah, I've been looking at different microphones, and I've come to the conclusion that before I get a microphone, I need to make a decision on input technology.
Yes.
Which my current microphone is a USB condenser mic. So I need to make a decision as to whether I want to get another USB microphone, or whether I want to get an XLR microphone with a mixer.
Which is what I've got.
Yes.
Well, actually, strictly speaking, I have an XLR microphone with a converter rather than a mixer, because mixers are even more expensive.
Mixers are ridiculously expensive, but I happen to have a little bit of disposable income at the moment, which means I can afford to make these investments.
Just to be nice.
Well, yeah, you know, it's not going to last. It never does.
No, no.
But so I've been thinking, well, maybe I take a look at some new microphones, and I've been taking a look at some new microphones, and I've been looking at them and going, oh, that's expensive, and oh, that's expensive, and oh, that's more expensive. So at the end of the day, the question comes down to: do I want a USB microphone, which is likely to be cheaper,
But
maybe
also lower quality,
slightly worse quality? Now, realistically, the microphone I've been using for the past 6 years has been a USB microphone. And it's held up remarkably well, honestly. It really has.
And it's also worth noting that the microphone you're currently hearing me through is just the headset mic. And it's not abysmal quality. It's not the quality I give to my stream, but it's...
it's not the best quality, but it's nowhere near
I've been at this for like... I've been at this for like close to 15 years, so, you know, I have high standards.
Well, I wouldn't go so far as to say high.
Higher standards than higher standards than this headset mic. But also, yes, you're right. I am talking to you currently.
Wow!
You walked into that
I
one.
did walk into that one. No, that's fair, that's fair.
That is totally on you.
Yes,
It's not broken, I see any
I
reason to change. You're not wrong.
I do understand that point of view, right? Like, yes, it's not broken. Why should I switch out for a different microphone? What's the point? But I also know that the audio quality that I have is not as good as the audio quality that I could have to make the viewing experience better.
You may want to back up for a hot second.
Oh god, is that going to explode?
Oh yes, I just want to do a little bit of sorting.
Oh boy. Oh yeah. So it's like it's trying to figure out whether it's worth it to upgrade, knowing that I am going to keep doing this as my job for maybe the next 10 to 15 years at the very least. Like, I mean, lying's proof that does happen.
Why do you make that sound like a tragedy? Besides the fact that it is, I know.
Well, I think that's your assumption more than my tone of voice. But you know. But I know that getting a new microphone is going to be an expensive investment. So I would like to understand. Actually, this is a good question for you, Lying. Do you feel that an XLR microphone is better quality than
Yes, absolutely, 100%. No
a
question.
USB microphone? and why?
Yeah. We can't hear your operatic voice, but it works. Okay, so I come from a family of musicians. I am by far the least musically gifted of a lot of them, depending on who you ask at the very least. But my brother, in particular, has a bachelor's degree in music technology. So it's things like getting the mixer, getting the converter, and like making sure the mic is good quality, that kind of thing. And I trust my brother's opinion on extremely little, but because he's generally speaking a complete idiot that has looked into every good thing in his life. But he does have a degree in music tech, so I will take him seriously in that. And he has been, like, when I needed to replace my my Blue Snowball way back when, which was a USB mic, he, like, rattled off a list of different microphones and their pros and cons, and the long and short of it is that the range of audio capture for an XLR mic is wider than that of a USB mic.
Yes, and that makes sense, because an XLR
it's passing more data, yeah.
Yeah, and the USB is simply a single digital signal, whereas XLR is more full, one might say.
Yeah, it might be a fairly densely compact, like, compressed signal, but it's still just one signal.
Yeah. Yeah, so that makes sense. And yeah, as Farrell says, XLR has a depth of sound that USB can't quite match. And yeah, that's fair. That is very fair. So at the end of the day, if I'm getting, which I'm probably, like, this isn't.
If you're after high quality audio, you probably go to XLR. But the question is, do you actually need the high quality audio?
Yes. Now, personally, I feel like the answer is yes. And
I feel like it's nice to have aspirations, personally.
Well, yeah. Well, I feel like
if I'm going to be stuck doing this for the rest of my life, because God knows I can't afford to retire at any point, I might as well be doing it well.
Yeah, exactly. But also, it's like, I feel like yes, the answer is yes to do I need high quality audio? Because one of the things that a lot of people say, and I still don't understand why, but a lot of people say they like hearing my voice. That my voice is one of the things that makes my channel interesting, right? So
I can
obviously that would mean that, like, what's better to help the channel grow than to make that voice more easily listenable to, more depth of quality, essentially.
I'm kind of curious now what it would be like to do a live stream, but through like a 1950s radio mic.
Ooh.
That sounds like that sounds like something that you would pull off quite well. But also
that would be a cardioid microphone. No,
yes.
Not a cardioid. Cardioid is what?
The old tin can microphone.
Yes, but it's not a cardioid. It's a variation on it's a ribbon microphone. That's what it's called. Older, like, 1920s style microphones are known as ribbon microphones. They're very rare and very difficult to acquire. Generally speaking,
because of course they stopped making them like 40 years ago.
Well, no, they are still manufactured, actually. It's just that the process of making them is not that easy, and also kind of, like, expensive. So they're less manufactured these days, but they are still made. Like, at the end of the day, microphones come into three categories. There's cardioid, condenser, and ribbon. Cardioid is that microphone that you will see basically in on stage, live performances. That's where cardioid microphones are used the most. They're essentially like a magnet with a coil that produces sound. Condenser microphones are what you'll see most in, like, studio settings, especially for vocalists, because they pick up tones clearer. They generally, like, process audio better than a cardioid microphone will.
We barely watch the screen. Oh, that to me says you need to up your you need to up your video quality there, Lucian.
Well, my video quality's fine, honestly. It's just that people, honestly, with most Twitch streams, people barely watch the screen. Like,
Yeah, we're radio functionally, so it'd be
yeah,
interesting
we are
to
functionally
just
a type of
actively
radio.
use a radio mic.
Yeah.
Just
So
lean into it. What's that? Oh god, what is the game where you're a team on an airship fighting other airships?
you mean Guns of Icarus?
Yes, imagine streaming that, but with the 1940s like microphone sound.
You could do.
That'd be pretty entertaining to me.
I've streamed Guns of Icarus before. It doesn't actually do very well. But it's because it's an old game. Like, it's really old
there's
at this
that.
point.
Yeah. Admittedly, if you have a mixer, it's relatively easy to replicate a lot of that sound. You pretty much just run a low pass and a high pass and you're done. Because the main thing that's changed in microphones over the years is just their range, so you just clamp that basically. But it'd be entertaining to like tune into a Twitch stream and hear someone who sounds like they should be announcing the sinking of the Bismarck.
Or the sinking of the Titanic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the Titanic's a bit earlier, but sure.
Still, same sort of period. At the end of the day.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
I'm honestly astonished that the chickens are working so well.
I mean,
the chickens in boats are working.
at the end
Lord.
of the day, like, Minecraft has some of the weirdest mechanics in some ways.
Yeah. It's like I could have just broken the server or used outright hacks, but instead I'm using boats full of chickens, and somehow it's working.
Yeah, like with the slime farms, for example. Nowadays, you can just fill one with mushrooms, and it spawns slimes instead of anything else.
Yep, that's what's happening right over there.
Exactly.
And it gets ridiculous rates, which is why the slime silo in that storage is so full.
That's pretty good.
Unfortunately, I am probably the only person on the server that has need of anything even approaching that much slime.
Well, I may
So I can't
have
really sell it.
need later on. I may have need later on. We'll see. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like, when it comes down to microphones, it really depends on the use case. But in my case, what I'm starting to understand is an XLR condenser microphone is probably my best option, essentially.
Yep.
So that I can, like, instead of having this, like, in fairness, the Samsung Go has been wonderful so far. But it is also 6 years old and it's starting to glitch again.
Fair.
Or rather, this one's about 5 years old, because I had one for a year, but the casing broke, and that wasn't great, because that kind of ruined the whole microphone, which not great. But essentially, like, this one's it's not glitching terribly, but there are days where it just kind of doesn't have the same audio quality that it used to. So I'm like, maybe now it's time to upgrade, you know?
I can understand that.
Yeah. So yeah, I think maybe an XLR condenser microphone might be the way to go. But that means I need to figure out which one to get.
Yep.
I
mean, I can give you. I can tell you which one I've got. Not off the top of my head, but I can. And this one has served me very well, I would say.
Fair enough.
And then I'm just using. I'm just using a Focusrite Red. I think it is Red 2, possibly. I can't recall the exact one. Which is just the converter between XLR to USB.
Yeah.
Which I guess functionally in a slight measure defeats the point of having an XLR over a USB, but...
But
such
at the end of the day, you're
such
always
is the way
going
of
to have
tech
to...
that works out still being better.
At the end of the day, you're always going to have to find a way to, like, push the signal to a computer. So whether you're using a mixer or a
Or,
or
a
a converter,
motherboard card for it, yeah.
it's still going to have a better like signal input than a straight USB line from the microphone is.
Anywho, Minecraft.
Sorry, I've been derailing everything with
so
my technical
much, yeah.
talk.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how it is. That's how it is.
Yeah, I know. That's what being in your presence is like.
What, derailing things on a regular basis?
You literally showed up to my stream today saying you were here to win.
Well, yes, but that's how I say that I'm gonna appear to almost everybody. Like I arrive in CJ streams and I say I'm here to bother you.
Yeah, now that I've got the witches fixed, that makes this farm dramatically more efficient. So that means I've got a bunch of products here that I am not presently having of any use for. Plenty of gunpowder, which has me thinking I might go to the Ender Dragon fight using a crossbow with rockets. Because taking on the Ender Dragon with a missile launcher sounds like a lot of fun to me.
I wish you the best of luck. I mean, if you got the kill, would the death message be Lion killed the Ender Dragon with a missile launcher if you named it? Well, no, it doesn't have a death message, does it?
Yeah, I don't think it does. It just has it just has the noise and the animation.
Yeah.
But what I do have is glowstone dust and redstone dust and spider eyes and sugar, and all of those are potioning ingredients.
Yes, and we're gonna need those for... Well, we might not...
That'd be useful to have, nonetheless.
Yeah, it'll be useful to have. My main thought is the most useful one would be a slowfall potion, but we need...
Yeah, there's a bunch of potions that I don't know.
Membranes for that, don't we?
Yeah. Let me see here. Base ingredients. There we are. Phantom membrane gets a slow falling. Turtle shells get a slowness and resistance, which might also be similarly useful. You just want to be if you make the greater slowness and resistance potion, of the Turtle Master, as it were. You are very slow, but you can get yourself slowness to resistance to, which is a pretty substantial decrease in damage taken. So if you did want to go with like the rocket launcher approach to fighting the Ender Dragon, you could just basically turn yourself into a turret.
You could, and then you get knocked into the sky, and
probably into the void. Yes.
Yeah, which isn't be most useful.
Entertaining. Let's see. Instant health potions are glistering melons, which is melon gold. So I would need a gold farm for that. Night vision is golden carrots. Strength is blaze powder, but that's not so much relevant for most of Dragon Fight.
No. Well, it's relevant for the sword section, but...
Yeah, but by that point everyone's just using beds.
Well...
What is probably quite valuable is gonna be the sugar, because that's used for speed potions. And if there's one thing that's really advantageous when you're fighting the Ender Dragon, it's getting
fighting
the heck
Ender
out
Dragon
of the way.
on speed. Yeah.
Well, I guess, yes. And especially since I have glowstone dust right next to it, I can make speed too. Electric Boogaloo. Where Keanu Reeves reprised his role, if memory serves. I also have the capacity to like corrupt these because I have spider eyes, so I can just corrupt. I can make those into what are they called? Something else.
Potions?
No, fermented spider eyes, because I'm getting spider eyes and sugar from this.
Potions.
No, just corrupted potions. So speed into slowness and.
Oh.
Keep in mind, I can bring a beacon to the end. I wouldn't advise it, Farrell.
I mean,
because if the Ender Dragon touches that, it is gone.
It's gone.
Not broken,
yeah.
just gone.
Just probably not a good idea.
It's not worth it. It'll be
fine. Yeah, I doubt that, but sure.
Yeah, absolutely. It's gonna get destroyed. So yeah, I can. I can corrupt potions quite well. I just need some kind of sauce for brown mushrooms to make fermented spider eyes. The dragon, I believe, is immune to a lot of damage types. Which is partially why I'm not entirely sold on my idea of fighting it with a rocket launcher.
I mean,
let's see. It is immune. Oh yeah, it is immune to all status effects except for instant damage, if it's player-based damage. However, hitting the dragon with a potion may prove true. So if it is from a player, it is in fact murdered by it. And oh hey, we just had a we just ticked over into the overflow. Nice. Wait, how did we just tick over into the overflow? Probably from the rotten flesh I got in there, I guess.
But yeah,
anyways.
no, I mean, honestly, well, the dragon will always, like, deflect arrows when it's in its sword phase, right?
Yes.
I would assume that counts for, like, rockets as well.
Probably, yeah. But it,
and you would need
a rocket,
explosive rockets for...
Yeah, which, again, is a lot of gunpowder, but we have a bunch of gunpowder over here.
I'm just remembering the fact that if you put multi-shot on a crossbow
it triples the rockets as well.
It triples the rockets, but it can also cause ridiculous amounts of FPS lag.
Yeah, because of the fireworks. But one other upside of the rockets is, in addition to AoE, whenever they land, they travel in a straight line, which should make them much easier to take out the crystals with, because we won't even have to break the casings on them.
I will be right back.
Just point at the lip of the... Okay. We'll just have to, like, point at the lip of the obsidian pillar, and it should destroy them. So that sounds good to me. But I do like the idea of having speed as well. So for that, I need some Neverwarts, which I believe is I believe that's being supplied at spawn. And then on top of that, I'm going to need... let's see. It's Neverwort, sugar, and then glowstone. I just used a teleporter gun to destroy the crystals. A teleporter gun? I don't think we have those, Captain Manslaughter. This is vanilla Minecraft.
Yeah, we're in vanilla, Captain. We're not in modded.
Yeah. I've just realized I'm going completely the wrong way because this is not hooked up to any other ones yet. Yeah. But yeah, I guess we could. I guess technically you could call an Ender Pearl a teleporter.
I mean, yeah, but I don't think. Well, no, an Ender Pearl.
You don't think that's what? It does teleport.
It does damage, but it only does.
It does damage
to
things
you.
it hits. Yeah. It does a little bit of damage to things that get hit by it, but it's mostly you when it gets shoved into a wall.
Yeah.
You can make one of those in what?
What?
Are you? Hang on. Are you referring to an Ender Pearl cannon?
Just get Ender Pearls and the piston dispenser.
I'm lost.
I'm lost. I'm sorry, Captain. What? I don't think that works for an Ender Dragon fight. I'm gonna be honest.
TNT Cannon the Dragon. There are actually designs for hyper-accelerating arrows, because apparently arrow damage is heavily based on how fast they're moving. So that you can just have an arrow one hit the dragon.
Okay, yes, but it requires the dragon to be in a very specific spot.
Oh, you mean like when it lands?
Okay, yeah, no, that's fair. But, yeah, no, actually, yeah. I've seen Doc M's arrow cannon from Hermitcraft Season 9. Yeah, that was terrifying. One hit
I've seen that used
full protection for fully repaired diamond armor and killed the person. So
yeah, I've seen that used on one server to kill someone who had something like 200 hearts.
I mean, they one-shot a warden with it, so
yeah,
like
it's pretty severe to say the least.
But also, it takes a ridiculous amount of setup.
Oh yeah, like you wouldn't do that the first time. You'd say
No.
you kill the dragon, then set it up, and then respawn the dragon.
Yeah.
So for the first fight, not so useful.
Hmm.
My dream is to one day recapture the magic of watching people fight the Ender Dragon in a B-52. Because that was just... Oh, that is from an old season of Mindcrack, and it's been my standard for interesting and, like, visually spectacular Ender Dragon fights since.
I mean, as in a B-52 modded or a B-52 vanilla?
It was modded. It was modded.
Okay.
It was a vehicle. But just like, that was so cool to see. It was so dramatic. I loved it. Oh, we've got one villager left, apparently, at spawn. Poor Fletcher.
Hmm.
He's a novice. He hasn't even like had enough trade to actually unlock his trades further. Poor guy. Poor guy.
Perhaps I will bring him some family at some point.
I'll just make it sure it's better defended than the last one.
Yeah, I need to route the rail line through the through spawn, essentially.
Okay, that's the next thing I need to do, is I need to find the Nether Fortress. Which I'm pretty sure I've visited before, I just have no memory of it. I'm fairly certain I have visited a bastion. Or at the very least, I have memories of being in a bastion with Stig, I'm pretty sure, but I have no clue if that's from this season.
I mean, it's probably from this season.
Whoop, got here. To end portal, do not enter until server event. Noted. Here's a big open wall. Know what this one's to.
Oh.
But it has... Is that a piglin brute?
Oh, that's CJ's portal.
Oh, okay. Is it just the lighting, or is that a brute?
I think
that's just a regular spawn.
Lighting, yeah.
Yeah, looks very dark. Yeah, to
no,
my
it's
knowledge, the
just
fastest
normal
way to
piglin.
kill the Ender Dragon is just to use beds. But beds and potentially its own crystals. So, actually, both of those are explosion damage, so that does reinforce the notion that you could kill it with a rocket launcher. So, hopefully, I can do some decent damage.
Oh, fingers crossed.
Nether Fortress, here we are.
Hello.
Hello.
I don't know why I'm following you in here. This is a probably
Because you want to bother me. Okay, so yes, I have never been here. We now have confirmation. Forgot that makes a sound when you draw it.
Well, yeah. That's why we have the belt slots, because it's cool.
Yeah, yep. Okay.
Oh, look,
let's see,
there's a wither skeleton.
structure. Yep.
Why are we here exactly, Lon?
Because I need to get some. I need to get some. Blah blah blah. I need blaze rods. That's the word.
I see. Okay.
Where's left?
Whoop! I think I found your blaze rods.
Oh.
Yeah, they're over that way.
Turn that on.
Ooh.
Well, I might have been able to go the other way, but this is the way we went. Anyways, you have an unenchanted sword. I have looting.
Fiery. Well, you go right ahead then.
You say that you're doing it in vanilla, then you draw out a katana. So I'm pressing X to doubt. Look at that, Lulu. Exactly what I said was the problem with your models.
This is still vanilla, Captain.
I know.
This is a resource pack. It's not it's a resource pack. All of this is vanilla. We
We're
just
not
have
being set up for spawning. We got a lot of stuff around here.
Oh look, there's a skeleton.
Sure is. Oof.
Ouchie.
Well, I got some coal now. And 2 hearts. There's a lot out there, wow.
Yeah. Welcome to the Nether. I'm an uncharted
Yeah, maybe if you yeah, maybe if you were like using way fewer squares, way fewer cuboids than you are in your models, it would look less like modded.
Well, that's not how I do things.
Do you remember modular power suits mods?
Yes.
That's what your sword looks like it's from.
I mean,
in terms of
necessarily
cuboid density,
bad
in terms of
thing.
model density. Yeah, apparently.
okay, interestingly enough, the blade is like 3 cubes, so...
Yeah, the blade. How many is the pommel made out of?
The pommel's a few more, but in fairness, you can barely see the pommel.
Unless you're behind you.
Well, yeah, I guess. Well, I'm never behind me, though. That's always you. Ah!
You deserve that.
Ow. Watch out above you, Line.
Yep, he's coming in from above.
And from the sides.
Fine. Maybe we should check out the other one. Feels
What?
like it might be a bit safer. Skeleton behind you.
Yeah, I heard. Get him. Fiery.
Yeah. Who'd have thought coming to hell would be so fiery?
I mean, I kind of suspect it.
Here.
Want to try that again?
Nothing that time. Okay, here we go, spawner. That'll do.
Ah, wonderful.
Apparently I killed one and got a torch. Here we go.
Congrats. No, I think you just broke a torch.
Yeah. All this effort, and I've got looting free, and I got 2. I got
Yeah,
2
sounds
blaze
about
rods
right.
out of that. Ugh. That one got me 4, at least.
I forgot I had a shield.
Might have come in handy a hot second ago.
Perhaps.
Literally a hot second ago. Right, it is 3 potions per brewing stand. Every potion mandatorily takes up an inventory slot to itself. How many potions do I want to make at once? Here's the next question, I guess. I always forget these guys have a pretty mean left hook. They actually hurt quite a
Okay.
bit.
Captain Manslaughter, have you played in the latest versions of Minecraft? Out of curiosity. Yes. Do you
Technically
know...
speaking, we haven't either.
Hmm?
Technically speaking, we haven't because we're not playing the snapshots.
Well, we could play the snapshots, but one mod can't be updated to it, so... But as I was saying, do you know what custom model data is, Captain? Because that is a vanilla feature. It's vanilla. I feel like us sitting here is making the blazers spawn less. I'm just gonna
They're
sit
pretty
around the
frequent.
corner.
And also, I know for a fact that the monster spawner doesn't care.
Well, that's true.
It only cares that we are present at all.
Hmm. So yeah,
The new
essentially,
ones in the ruins might be.
So essentially, this headset, as you can tell by the NBT tags, is a carved pumpkin. This electroblade, as you can tell by the NBT tags, is in fact a netherite sword. All of these things are vanilla. They are just made to look a little different via custom model data, which is a vanilla feature.
Yeah, it's a
that
resource
is-
pack feature. It does require a command to set that value.
It does, but you can use a data
Since
pack
it's
to trigger
purely
it.
cosmetic, most servers don't mind too much.
Exactly. Oh, watch out. Behind you, Line.
Okay, I'm up to 60, I think, so one more should do it.
Okay.
Well, I've got 20 rods, but that's 20, 20 rods
Yeah.
is
Ooh.
60 potions at once.
Yeah, the recipe is identical, Captain. It's just the skin that's different. So, yeah. It's
just a coat of paint, basically.
Yeah, literally. Well, maybe not quite a coat of paint. More like hammering on a different visual. But,
it's an applique.
yeah, it's like you've made the Buster Sword look like a wooden sword, basically, or a wooden sword look like the Buster Sword.
Might be lost here. Because
Yeah,
all of these like
come on,
crossbars are exactly the same. There's no indication of direction to go.
I remember where we came from. Oh, not this one.
I remember where we came from. Runs the wrong way.
Well, no, I just took a wrong turn. It's fine. Yeah. Oh no, I've just led us back to the blaze spawner.
You just led us right back to the spawner. We're trying to leave the fortress.
We're trying to leave. I know. I was going the right direction. I just second-guessed myself. Yay!
Oh, there you go. I'm 23 blaze rods in, but you finally got it too.
Yep, here we are.
Here?
That way. No, this way. Line, this way.
Oh, hey, I gassed. I have to grab your tears. Oh well.
Well, if I craft a second one... Well, in order to craft a second one, Captain, I would require a netherite ingot, which I do not have.
Pity that.
And additionally, crafting a second one will just make it look like a netherite sword. So, yeah.
Do you even have mending on that sword?
Nope. It is completely
so when it's broken, it's just gone then.
Well, until I enchant it, yeah.
I'm surprised you haven't done that yet, honestly.
I haven't had the time, really. Well, I haven't had the time, or rather, I haven't had the playtime for it.
I mean, you've spent a lot of time placing anvils.
I really haven't. Like, realistically, I've spent about 30 minutes placing... Ow! Anvils!
Alright.
But, yeah.
Oh, I've just remembered that they changed the potion stands. Brewing stands need fuel now.
Yep,
Ugh.
blaze powder.
Why did it have to be? Why? That wasn't necessary.
30 minutes is 5 years in dog years. I don't think that's accurate, AJ.
Definitely not.
Like, I know that, like, 1 year is 5 dog years or something.
Yeah, this is where I've been getting all mine. Remember the last time you visited here and it was just that corridor?
It was just a single tunnel. Now it's ridiculous, yes.
Yep.
Yes, indeed.
The power of having your own tunnel bore. Although
the power of having 4 tunnel bores, more like.
But, yeah. There is one slight problem I've noticed, which is that Farrell has blast mined most of this area already.
Well, yeah.
And I even picked this specific direction to go because I checked and made sure that Farrell hadn't blasted it. But then by the time I actually built the tunnel bore, Farrell had blasted it. So I'm in a real drink your milkshake kind of moment here, unfortunately. But yeah, this has got to be a fair bit of netherite.
Okay. Let me show you real quick, Captain. So, Electroblade. Options, resource pack. Turn that off. Ta-da! Netherite sword, and I'm wearing a pumpkin.
We're always wearing a pumpkin. Looks like an easier setup option for a blaze farm. The fortress is an open air spawner. I can maybe see about making us a more automated blaze farm.
Ta-da! Back to being me. Yes. This is all a resource pack. However, it is a resource pack utilizing custom model data. Custom model data has to be applied through a command. Whether that's
to
through
a specific
data pack
item
trigger
stack
command,
as opposed to an entire item.
Yes. Whether that data pack is whether that command is applied through a data pack trigger, which most people use, or because we don't have that set up on this server, it's simply we take the item it was previously, throw that in a fire, and then give the person the item with that visual on it instead, which takes a bit more time, but it's
a little
basically
inelegant, but it works.
Yeah.
Oh hey, slow falling.
What we had originally wanted to do was make it so that we could rename an item and it would trigger that, like, data command. Yeah, it doesn't replace the model globally. It just replaces that single model. Where have you gone, Mike?
Overworld.
Oh.
So now I gotta figure out how I want to engineer this potion maker. Because it's really, really ridiculously easy to set up a potion brewing system that only brews one potion.
No, Captain Manslaughter. In layman's terms, when crafted, it doesn't trigger the command.
It doesn't have NBT data when it's crafted.
Yeah.
Basically.
It's just a normal.
There's a handful of exceptions in the Minecraft base code, like enchanting books, but basically, there are no item spawns with NBT data.
Exactly. Well, you can make it spawn with NBT data, but there's like there's a whole load of other things you need to do to make that happen.
Yeah, it has to be done in the. Right, where do I want to put system? I kind of want to build some kind of data-driven system that can just like I can just program the recipes in.
I mean,
but I don't know. Like,
I'm gonna
if I
be
use
honest.
a lectern,
it sounds like you're trying to replicate applied energistics in vanilla, and that terrifies me. Like, you have to understand.
Well, if I use a lectern, then I can have an output signal between like 0 to 15 that specifically relates to a specific combination of ingredients. By just checking for a specific power level, and it's just like, okay, deposit these materials. The hard part is in making it so that I can, like, never waters for everything. That part's fairly, but glowstone and redstone dust aren't necessarily for every possible potion, so there would need to be some kind of bus or flag for that. I guess there's that. I mean, we're using iron for lighting here, so.
Redstone lamps.
Yes, I'm aware of redstone lamps.
Yeah.
I've used them over here as an indicator of when the blasting is done. Yeah, let me run this just for posterity's sake, because I haven't done it in a little bit.
Okay, hold on, very quickly.
It's nice to watch.
Manslaughter. No, it's not. It can only trigger once. It has to be manually input as a command.
Otherwise, it's unchucked and you're all separation arena.
That is the difference. In order to get that sword, I would have to do /if function be ghost, then Minecraft netherite sword, followed by this tag, custom model data, colon, a specific series of numbers.
We'll add a bit of the terrain around it.
That is the command that you need to do to get that specific sword with that texture pack. It's not that it can only be triggered once.
It's
simply that the command has to be input manually. I can't do it because I'm not server admin. But
you get tapped out.
Sorry, I was explaining things.
I
I was explaining things. Don't worry. I was explaining how exactly the custom model data command works. Which, yeah, I didn't think you'd want to rehash that again. So I was just making things as clear as possible. I see you basically went for my idea.
Well, it turned out to be pretty much the only viable idea, because these trees are just too big to deal with otherwise. Like, I can push them in. I can push the entire tree in one direction, and then that's about the only thing that's viable.
That's fair. I mean,
everything else is ridiculous work. Yeah.
Sort of, you have to jump through 50 hoops to get a sword that looks the way you want it to.
But it is very dramatic,
basically,
I
yes,
will say.
Yes, basically,
I do very much like it being very dramatic.
Lots of TNT. I like it.
So much, yeah. And the hardest part of that was finding the coral, which is another one of those, much like the chickens in boats, another one of those really weird Minecraft things that works very vitally in a lot of redstone circuits.
Corals and walls, and you can duplicate TNT.
Yep, coral, walls, and glazed terracotta up there as well. Yeah.
Go figure.
Very strange. Minecraft code is very strange at times.
Indeed it is.
Yeah, where do I want to put a stand? Or a series of stands, as the case may be.
I mean, are you planning to do like an automated brewing system?
Yeah, like I said, I want to be able to program exactly what combination of ingredients corresponds to what redstone signal coming out of a lectern, so that I can just like flip the page, and that's
Do you want to make a building for it?
I mean, I'm gonna have to. I have to imagine.
Well, what I mean is, do you want to make a building for it, or do you just want a control panel that you can put in a wall?
I guess.
That does not answer my question, Line.
But these are the same thing to me, so...
I mean...
The lectern is just the UI, it's just the user interface point.
I mean, okay, so... Do you want to make this a full, isolated building on the surface? Or do you want to set it up so most of the redstone is hidden inside the terrain?
I want to say at least some measure of the end state needs to be visible. Like, seeing the items fly into the brewing stand, for instance. That's pretty nice. Just like, selecting a thing in a lectern and pushing a button to order it, and then just staring inside of a chest or a barrel or something, that's kind of boring by comparison.
Okay.
Actually seeing the clock work is, like, more interesting to me.
Okay. Well, then the next idea is, what kind of building are you thinking?
Well, I've got this lumber mill, which definitely I need to put an exterior on once I'm certain that it won't detonate its own exterior.
I'm not touching this one this time.
Yeah, I know. It took you long enough to get the other one. I've got the...
There's a reason for that!
The iron farm is up on
I
this
will
hill.
get to this, and then never does.
Yeah, so I've got the iron farm up here, which I can probably redo a bit now, actually. I might be able to make that a teensy bit more efficient. Or speedier, one way or the other. Does that... The iron farm kind of strikes me as heavier industry. Would you say so? Like, that's basically a forge up there, essentially.
I'd say that both the lumber mill and the iron farm are heavy industry to a degree.
True, but by virtue of being, like, frequently made out of woods and embedded inside of what used to at least be a forest, lumber mills tend to be a bit closer to rural. Or at least associated as such, whereas the iron, the smeltery, on the other hand.
When it comes to, like, potions, I don't imagine rural, right? I imagine, like...
Yeah, exactly, my fault.
Alchemist shop on a merchant street.
Yeah, chemical plant.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, like my dad was manager of a chemical plant. My grandfather was a metallurgist, which is a field that doesn't exist anymore.
I think it still technically exists in some way.
It's the knowledge is still useful, the work is still done, but it's not called metallurgy anymore.
Hmm.
It's basically just material chemistry, I think, these days.
Hmm.
Because it was chemistry before we had a role for chemists, pretty much.
Hmm.
So I feel like near here, near the iron farm, is probably the smartest place to put anything that's like heavily chemical. Which the ring stands strike me as.
I mean, yes, I can see that being an Oh wow, okay, yeah, that's
Oh yeah, he's gotten sick.
that ties in with some storyline quite well, actually.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I definitely can see, like, you building a massive, like, iron factory with a chemical plant on the side of it, but I also know that's not really your style. Like, heavy industrial isn't really your style, honestly. I know that much.
How so? How so?
How so? How so, Fae in the woods, witch in the well, maiding do lying?
Different series.
All with very common build palettes.
No, hey, he's got a
Well,
little...
maiding do, maybe not. But, like, Knight of Fangs. There we go. Like, all of them have very common build palettes, which mainly orbit, like, natural themes and, like, not, like, heavy industrial plants, essentially.
Okay, what was the hubris harvester in this scheme of yours, then?
What?
What was the hubris harvester in your scheme?
Hubris Harvester?
Yeah.
You've lost
Oh,
me.
you might not have been here for that particular season. But that was a preceding season of World of Madness where I had a giant, a giant mob, hyper effective mob farm that lagged basically everyone but me on the server.
Okay.
And it was styled after some concept art from The Matrix.
Okay. That's not really industrial, though. That's sci-fi.
That's closer to industrial than what you're describing.
Well, yeah. Fair enough. But still, like, it's... You're not known, at least to me, for, like, massively industrial style builds, is what I'm saying.
Fair.
Yes, I would say that, like, a chemical plant next to an iron foundry up here would probably
Next to a
look relatively
corrupted
cool.
weirdo over here.
Yeah, but I would
Whatever
also
this guy
say that something that would be more up your, like, knowledged, like, visual prior designs would be, like, some sort of giant tree that has potion brewing systems in its branches or something that spits out potions at you or something. I don't know. I'm just saying. I don't. When I think of you, I don't. Oh, wow, big turtle shell. When I think of you, I don't imagine industrial. Is what I'm saying. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. You can definitely try your hand at industrial, but yeah. That's where my brain goes.
What turtle shell was that?
There's a big turtle shell on the.
Oh, yeah, he's got a bit of a growth.
Got a bit of a shell.
Yeah, he's got some
shell.
growth in there, all right.
Terrifying.
Huh, I didn't know he did that. That's new.
Yeah. But yeah, you get what I mean. Ow.
You good?
I'm good.
Yeah, I don't know why this is here. I'm presuming that's Terral if it were.
Yes, I didn't realize that I was out of hunger, so I tried to sprint and failed miserably.
Just like me. These days, anyways.
What, failing
Yeah,
miserably?
No, trying to sprint and failing miserably.
Oh, I see. Yes, okay, yeah.
Yeah, so... Either or, we're both saying that on top of this hill is a good location for this.
I mean, yeah, I think we're...
Right.
I think the agreement is that, yes, this is a good place for, like, a potion brewing place. I think the disagreement is whether or not your style could be classified as industrial. And that's about it.
It's not strongly industrial, but I have built some more modern styles, especially last season with my village. Like my mid-century fishing village.
I wouldn't.
You're struggling for terms, I see.
I don't know what I would describe that village as. Mostly bird poop is one term.
There was a lot of diorite, yes. They were whitewashed buildings.
Alternatively, I don't know what century I would describe that village as being from. Not any century known to man, at the very least.
I grew up in towns like that. Are you kidding me?
I mean, okay. I can see it. Kind of. But also, like... I don't know. I guess it doesn't really give me the vibe of British mining town. Or British industrial town.
Well, no, it was a British fishing town.
Still doesn't give me that vibe.
Which I feel like neither of us has lived, admittedly.
I mean...
Nope, time for a mint.
I used to live near Falmouth, so...
The character from Dungeon Meshi?
No, that's Falin. Falmouth, as in Cornwall, Falmouth. Like, right near Penzance, basically. Well, not quite that close to Penzance. Hey! Falmouth's lovely!
It's named Cornwall, it can't be that good.
Cornwall's lovely.
It's Cornwall.
When it's not raining. But that goes for the rest of
You're describing
England
things
as well.
you're describing things as like good or bad based in meteorology, whereas I'm describing things as good or bad based on whether they're Tory centres.
Cornwall isn't really a Tory centre these days. Might have been at one point, but actually a lot of like people down in Cornwall are mostly Labour these days.
Well, after 14-ish years of Tories, most places ought to be. Nope. Yeah. It is still Tory. In fact, right now.
Well, for the most part, that's because Cornwall is mostly dominated by old retired couples.
Yes, old retired, usually mid to upper wealth white people.
Yeah.
People who can afford a summer house are more likely to be Tory than anything else.
Yes. But that doesn't actually represent the views of most, like, Cornish citizens who are actually, like, born and raised there, who are mostly the working class who hate Tories. I say this having gone to college in Cornwall and having gone to college with most of those, like, college students who were like, we hate fucking Tories everywhere. So
everybody should.
What
was a lovely forecast I saw recently? Actually, was they going to lose like 2,000 like seats?
Oh yeah. Oh,
something like that.
Yeah, around 2,300 seats.
It is important to state: never trust what the predictions are. Always vote unless it's always a vote assuming it's worst case. But if that comes true,
I mean,
if that comes true, we might not see a Tory government for decades.
I mean, that would be lovely. In fairness, that would be lovely.
Nice.
I mean, it would also be nice to get a prime ministerial
opposition party that was meaningfully distinct.
Well, I was gonna say a prime ministerial candidate that actually supports transgender and Palestinian rights, but you know.
Well, Ireland does now, so there's that.
Oh, well, yeah, but there's like this one specific guy in the Irish Parliament that's been like heavily advocative of like both of those things. Oh, and apparently Nicola Sturgeon called J.K. Rowling a TERF in public the other day.
Yep.
Which was wonderful.
I think she called her worse things than that, in fact.
Well, yes, she has.
Or at least...
And then...
Admittedly, calling someone a TERF to you and me is a high insult. But
Eh,
also to the majority of the mainstream world, there are much worse things to call people.
yeah. But
Alas.
also, like, J.K. Rowling tried to say that Nicola Sturgeon isn't a feminist, which backfired heavily.
Yep.
I mean, the woman's done more for women's rights in Parliament, in the Scottish Parliament, in fairness,
Yeah.
than like
limited though it
most
may be.
people have done for decades. So, like, as much as like some people may not like Nicola Sturgeon, like as a member of the SNP and everything, she has gotten some good stuff done. And
Yeah.
in fairness, you have to take every politician with a grain of salt. Like,
Usually one you could beat a man to death. Yes.
yeah.
Grain the size of Winchester.
Yep. Yeah, it's a grain of salt, you know, those like salt blocks that you give to cows and horses? Yeah, one of those.
Just over the heads, you know.
Yeah.
While they're not
yeah.
looking.
Like any politician you have to take with a grain of salt, in my opinion. Politicians are
Yeah.
a dime a dozen and deadly to the
Yeah.
societal structure of our world.
Alright. I'm gonna putting aside the aesthetic decisions to be made about this potion brewing area. I believe I'm gonna get started just by having a Neverwort farm.
That's probably a good idea.
Yeah. Now these are fairly straightforward, I think. I wonder if I can use allies. Wonder if I can find allies is the first question, I guess.
You would need... Well, I don't think allies can plant Neverwort, can they?
They can't plant it, but they could collect it.
Yes, but then how do you plant it again?
Yeah, that is. There's no bone. There's no really any other way around that other than manually planting it. Is
And I don't think villagers can do Neverwort.
no, they don't. They don't manage it like
Yeah.
carrots, sorts.
Hmm.
So I think you have to manually plant it, but
Yeah.
there's umpteen different means by which you can harvest it. I don't think there's been heavy innovation in like Neverwort farms over the years. I think it's mainly just have a big thing of soul sand. Have a quick goop, see what this looks like these days.
Okay, so there is a way to do like an automatic Neverwort farm, but it's like an AFK Neverwort farm.
So
one of those-
it's where you just like set yourself in a position and hold right click, basically.
Well, it's set yourself in a minecart and keep planting as like a piston breaks the block, basically. Using observers, which
Yeah.
you know.
Hmm.
Oh
Yeah,
god, Neff is making a proper blacksmith hammer. Oh dear.
Oh,
That's
like a
terrifying.
model or like
In
a
Nightingale.
smithy? Oh, I see. Right.
Where
What
they
does
have
that mean?
been. Neff is known in many games for making weapons that cause irreversible damage,
Uh-huh.
such as weapons in Terraria and other games that literally eat the world.
Now I could make that here.
Nightingale has a relatively extensive weapon customization and creation system. To the point where I think they've managed to make a shotgun that one-shots bosses. Neff is known to be very dangerous when it comes to creating
I'm good. Keep going.
when it comes to creating cursed objects. And they have been christened on our little Nightingale build area, the Mad Blacksmith.
Right.
Which I have not seen any of their weapons in action,
Probably for the best.
but I have been informed that they are terrifying to witness. And they've only had, like... I think they've only played 48 hours of the game so far.
I mean, that's 2 days. That's not nothing, but...
That's 2 days to learn how to create the most powerful weapon in the game.
I mean, these days you can just Google that. That's not saying much.
Not in a early access day one release line.
The new ones are terrifying yourself. You already broke Craftopia in the first week? Ugh.
Yeah, Neff is known to... Okay, to put it into perspective, how I met Neff was that we'd found... we were playing Arcade, right? Do you remember that Arcade? It's an old game at this point.
Not really, no.
Old MMO. Point is, the way I met Neff was through a method of causing boats in arcades to be launched into the stratosphere via the use of poly crossbows. And Neff was doing
for
that
a
for fun.
22-step Hang on. Wait, burying the lead here slightly, Neff. There's an ore refining process now in Nightingale? Like,
Yes.
it goes that deep?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Like, there's an ore refining system, there's, like, you can create specific weapons out of, like, specific components, and you can switch up those components. Depending on which metals and ingots you use will depend on the stats of the weapon, etc., etc. Like, it's very in-depth, actually.
Interesting. I still can't even touch the thing, because it shuts itself down before it actually lets me even get to the main menu.
Have you updated your graphics drivers yet?
I haven't at the time, I've been packing for moving.
Okay, well, maybe you should do that before you try turning it on next time. Like it told you to the first time.
Most games don't care.
Well, this one's
Most
really
games are
early
like,
access. It's gonna care.
Most games are just like, oh, you're gonna look bad, but we've told you that, so it's your fault now. That's what most games do.
Oh yeah, that's also true. Neff, the thing with Neff, like the ship jumping thing, it was done with a turtle ship in the first 3 weeks of the game. On the first turtle ship that was acquired in the game.
I'm
And
just
turtle
remembering
ships
now
are...
exactly what nonsense Neff got up to on my Patreon server when we had Create installed.
Different Neff.
Different Neff?
Different Neff. In
more
this
than one
case, Nefaria or Encia in my chat. Different Neff.
Why? What manner are there 2 Neffs in the world?
I think there's more than 2, but this one is N-E-P-H, Neff, whereas yours is N-E-T-H, Neff.
So we independently just happen to have a Neff known for breaking things.
I believe so, yes.
Weird. Back when I were coming up, there weren't no Neffs around at all.
That makes sense. Nightingale is Unreal Engine 5 on DirectX 12 line. That's why it needs your graphics drivers to be updated.
Right.
Yep.
Oh well. I'm gonna need a bunch more soul sand for this, I think. I think but at least for making a soul sand, at least for making a Neverwalk farm, I think this will look decently well. Cascading water levels. Yeah, I mean, if you just want to hand peg it every single piece of it, then yeah.
Can't be bothered.
Let's see, how many growth stages are there to Neverwart?
3, I think. 2 or 3.
Yeah, so I should be able to set up an observer looking at one specific piece of Neverwart. And then just have that pulse into a counter, and when it hits 3, I can just then have it actually set off water lines or something.
Better make sure I never meet the other one or the world is ending.
Or I could use a piston flying machine.
You could.
That's probably too much. That's probably too much.
I mean...
For Neverward, that's probably too much.
I remember.
Like, not... it's weird of me to say, I'm sure, but not everything requires a fancy piston flying machine.
Doesn't it?
Not everything.
Doesn't
Not
it?
everything.
Even your lumber farm line that you were 100%
Well, that one does, because there's
certain-
literally no other way to do that. So.
that you were 100% certain required multiple flying machines, and in the end only required a few.
Only required a few. It's a wall of pistons that shoves a 30-block tall tree.
Mm-hmm. And weren't you trying
What do you
to
mean, only a
divide it
few?
out into components before?
Into, like, more manageable chunks to actually detonate, yes. But the
Hmm.
plan was always to shove them into a blast chamber.
Mhm.
Just now it does it directly.
God, I need to figure out the music choices for the episode 31 edit. I've got a few of them down, but like, I don't know what music to use in the Deep Dark for what vibe we've got going there.
80s synthwave, maybe?
I've already used some of that.
That's what Stranger Things popularized.
Also, Neff says, for lying, the way the crafting works is that almost every material has stats on it, and when you craft with them, the stats from your material will be carried over to the object you're making.
Oh, sounds
Yeah.
so good.
That's Nightingale for you.
Hmm.
I think there's a reason people have been telling you should play it.
Yeah, I can imagine that.
It's a little bit grindy, but it is also like early access.
So you're saying it's rife for automation?
I don't... There isn't really any automation systems in it yet. It's too early access for that. Like, it is literally, like, day one early access. It launched, like, less than a week ago. Oh yeah, and the materials that you make things out of also affect the appearance.
The
So, like,
appearance?
Yeah,
So you make something
you
out
can
of, like,
make
dark
bright
steel
purple
versus, like,
metal
wood.
rifles and stuff.
What metal is bright purple? Smith?
I don't know. I know that one of the metals is like a cyan color, and apparently that one's magnesium, and Neff made a gun out of it.
I would strongly advise against making anything that uses combustion out of magnesium.
So would I, but Neff did it anyway.
Again, child from a long lineage of alchemists. Don't heck with magnesium, you will go blind.
Mm-hmm. The sun is a cube? The sun is a cube. You're right, AJ.
When
The moon is also a cube. Hold on, let me see if the moon's come up. Yeah.
It'll be on the other side.
Cube moon. Magnesium is silver. I made it specifically out of magnesium for the joke. I see. It's a porter turret pistol, which makes it even funnier. Which, I looked at the model for it, flying, and it looks like someone took a Tommy gun and put it on a flintlock.
Yeah, that's what they were like back then. Yeah. I think that was one of the guns that was referenced by Taliesin Jaffe for his gunslinger D&D character.
What, for Percival? The Rolo?
Yeah.
Percival Frederickstein von Musil Kowalski the Rolo the Third.
Yeah, I thought it was Frederickstein. Frederickstein Kalowski, something like that.
Percival Frederickstein von Musil Kowalski the Rolo the Third.
Yeah, he made it deliberately very, very pompous and windy.
You're joining the Yeety Titty Committee soon? AJ, congrats!
Oh, congrats. I'm on the opposite of that,
You're in the
hopefully.
Receivey Titty Committee.
I guess.
Wow.
It's going
Snip,
quite
snip.
well. It's not...
Yeah.
No.
No,
Who
I'm
do you
talking
think
to,
donated?
I'm talking to AJ. It's
Okay,
you're
let's
getting Gandalf's big naturals line.
Oh, so far. Okay, age 3. Age 4. Around here at all. Does look like it's only age 3. Okay. So a redstone counter tied to one of these.
AJ says you can have their big naturals line.
How big are we talking?
Pretty big, actually. If I
Oh,
recall correctly.
that might be bad.
I believe back problems big.
Yeah.
According to AJ, they're pretty great. They just don't want them.
Fair, fair.
One of the things that I would like to see in Nightingale is like a parrying dagger and rapier combo. Like I haven't seen that yet. I don't know if that's possible. But like I want the parrying daggers that have like the little notches in them that are designed to like break swords but also don't fucking work. It's so bad. They look so cool, but they're so bad.
Okay. Now, the problem I'm gonna have here is that the water and then the replanting is also going to count as a block update. So, the system is probably just going to have to be reset manually? Or else I'm gonna have to build in extra states.
There's some cool looking hunting knives. Ooh. I don't think there's like swords though, are there, Neff? I haven't seen any swords in Nightingale yet. One of the things that I would like to see in Nightingale is like stuff that you're not holding in your hands gets holstered on your character.
So basically exactly what you added a mod to the server for.
Well, yeah, but like it's cool though. Like, isn't it? It looks cool. Look at me with my sword and my bow. It looks neat.
I don't use it unless I needed some extra inventory slots.
No, but there's daggers in the game that you can't actually obtain.
Oh,
what does that mean?
Extra rewards, maybe? Or possibly just NPC equipment?
Maybe, but like, when it comes to Neff, there's things that affect daggers, but there aren't dagger recipes. Ah, so there's hunting knife recipes, but there's no dagger recipes. Oh, interesting. I mean, maybe that's something they're adding in the future.
Probably.
Like upcoming stuff. Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
So I need some more cobblestone, but I also need to empty my inventory somewhat. It's full of things right now.
The other thing that we've been encountering, or rather that I've been encountering, is there is a build limit in Nightingale at the moment.
Are we talking like Minecraft build heights? Are we talking Space Engineers like block ownership limits? What?
Structure limits per world.
Right.
So like you can only build 300 specific structure pieces in a realm, basically. At the moment, it's set pretty low.
So Space Engineers, but shared by everybody.
Yes. At the moment, it's set pretty low, because it's early access and they don't want to overload the servers. There's a lot of requests for them to put the structure limit higher, because like a lot of people want to make community realms where a lot of people can have their houses. We tried to do that at first, but we hit the structure limit pretty quickly with like 8 different people all building their own houses.
So having like 200 or so, not so good.
Yeah, no. But it
Imagine
is
most friend groups
interesting that we
involving that
can
too.
have, like, a lot of different people in the same realm. Like, the party size is limited to 6, but you can have, like, 15 to 20 people in the same world at the same time. Which is pretty cool. Hunting knives can have a lot of interaction, where if you attack someone from behind, you do a special backstab attack. Ooh. Structure limit only affects furniture. Walls have their own limit of 3. Yes. So walls and furniture have like 2 different structure limits. Which is fine, I guess, until someone decides to make like 16 different portals in their house and caps out the structure limit for furniture. Which, yeah, that can be a bit annoying. But yeah. Hunting knives with a CC spellbound onto them are super fun to play with. Oh yeah, because you can apply spells to specific weapons as well. That's a thing in Nightingale. The way you use spells is by applying enchantments to specific weapons and then using them as a casting tool. Which, very fun. Very fun indeed. I during the stress test, they put us up a bunch of ranks and put us like about 10 hours into the game, and I had like I had a spell on my sickle that was essentially summon bees. I could just summon swarms of bees to attack my enemies. Which is fun.
That sounds like a Jason Statham movie.
Not the bees! Oh god. But yeah,
Like,
it's fun.
there was specifically a Jason Statham movie that involved a bee.
Was there? Oh.
Quite recently, actually.
Wait, no. I thought you meant the bee movie. No, that's not Jason Statham, is it?
That's also not even Nicolas Cage, so you're still wrong.
I do not know which one you're talking about. I'm gonna be honest. No idea.
The Beekeeper, Jason Statham movie.
I have not heard of it.
Clearly.
16 portals only add 16 limit. The display is just being buggy, but with T-Man and me moving our crafting stations out of the realm, half the structure limit probably just freed up. Yeah, no, that's fair. You guys had a lot of crafting stations. Only sad thing is that you can't bind spells to guns. I can kind of see why, but at the same time, it is kind of sad that you can't put spells on bullets, because that would be really cool.
Isn't that just Supernatural? Wait, no, that's even better. That's Outlaw Star.
I've never seen that.
That's just the caster guns from Outlaw Star that the main character uses.
Well, we do not have them, sadly.
Pity. Pity. Right.
But maybe we'll have them in the future. It might be something that gets requested by the community. Because a lot of things are like being requested by the community as well. What day are you moving on?
It's forthcoming Sunday.
Sunday, okay.
Then I will be offline for 4 days.
So yeah, we can...
It was that, like, Virgin Media were pretty reasonable about their installation and turn-on time, but it's still going to be 4 days. It was that or, like, a month, which... Anyone who's been in my fandom for a while already knows that I have had to put up with not having internet for months at a time at one point. So 4 days is basically nothing. I will probably still be going out of my gourd of boredom, but, you know, something I can deal with.
That's how it usually happens. But yeah, I mean, one of the things that is one of the things that what may end up happening. Brain speak properly.
Go slowly. Let your brain.
I'm getting
cool.
there.
I know it's easily overwhelmed.
Stop interrupting me. What may end up happening this Thursday, when we hopefully play Nightingale properly, is we might have a Dave along for the ride.
Oh?
Yeah.
A Dave Chaos?
A Kirin Dave.
Oh.
Because like when Dave got back from vacation, they basically they popped into my chat when I was streaming Nightingale and said, "Hey, do you think we can get lying into this?"
It is pretty much my brand, ain't it?
Thusly prompting me to go, I mean, maybe, but it's gonna be expensive. And Dave was like, "But do you think we can get them into this?" And I'm like, "Yes. We might have to buy them the game." And they went, "I can do that." And I went, "Well, not if I get there first." So
so that's what you meant.
So that's how that all happened.
And then you did get there first, if I remember. And then you did get there first.
I did get there first, yes. But essentially, what was going to happen last Thursday was that we would all be playing Nightingale together. But Dave was feeling sick, and you were having trouble with the installation and stuff. So
yes.
I'm hoping that this Thursday we can do some Nightingale with you and Dave, and that'll be fun. Hopefully, if everything goes to plan this time. I'm just gonna sit in your hopper.
There.
Yeah, I picked up Nightingale on launch day, AJ. Because I've been waiting for Nightingale for like a year now, and I was like, I'm not waiting anymore. I'm not waiting anymore. So yeah, it's fun. It's very fun.
Okay, just lock that.
Wow, I can't believe you've locked me in a hopper.
If only it worked like a bear trap, yes. Okay. So every time that like sample piece, I guess we call of Neverwalk, grows for a stage, it'll trigger this dropper, send a item into the item hopper, and then I can detect when the dropper is empty, which should indicate stage 3, which is the final stage of Neverwart.
Oh yeah, no, I agree with you there.
Then I can send
definitely
a
want
pulse
to
into
convert
a line of
convert our home
like
realm
this
into a
one,
massive
which should
steampunk
then
RP town.
cause everything to be
I think that would
flushed
be really
out.
cool. But we need to get a higher build limit before we can do that, realistically speaking. If everyone wants to have furniture, and if we want to put lampposts everywhere.
Signal length. Except for a piece of one, no problem.
You will love it, AJ. You will love the character creator system. Like, it's
character creator. I've heard there's a mandatory 1 hour tutorial, so. Nightingale.
Yes. Well, it's not an hour. It's like 30 minutes of tutorial. It's a lengthy tutorial, but it's very informative, and it's pretty good. And the narrator for the tutorial is pretty good. But the character creation is where Nightingale shines.
The character creation is where it shines.
Oh, no, yeah, seriously. You can set your ancestry to influence your character's visuals.
Right.
And it's like some of the none of its sliders is the thing. Okay, some of it's sliders, but a lot of it's like
I was gonna say some of it kind of has to be mandatory sliders.
Yes, but like a lot of it's like a 3-dimensional grid that you can move a dot around to select character customization visuals. But yes, AJ, you will like the character creator isn't fully fleshed out yet. It is, as I said, it's still all early access, so a lot of it's still being worked on. But the character creator is one of my favorite parts of the game because of the amount of customization that you can do, depending on which base characters you set as your presets, depending on how many of this and that you decide to put in. You can even apply makeup and mascara to your character as a base layer. Like, it's wonderful. And yes, you will probably spend 8 hours in the character creator before you settle on something, AJ. They're also going to have, like, tattoos and scars added in to the character creator, but those aren't in quite yet. So yeah. But there's a lot.
I'm trying to think if I have enough string as dispensers. I'm just trying to think if I have enough string to make the dispensers right now.
Here you go.
And I think the answer is no, because I already used a bunch of string. Yes, one string. That's
it's the only one I have, alright?
One dispenser.
It's the only one I have.
Well, I need a bow for each dispenser. There's gonna be, I think this is 12? Let's see here. 647, 2658. Yeah, that's about 12. So I'm gonna need 36 string minus 3 for the one I've already got, which I need 33. I mean, I've got the sticks. We know I've got the sticks.
Yeah.
Okay, I need
but
12
do you
signs
have the
and
stones? Or the string, rather. Sorry.
Yeah. I'll need 12 signs, which is 4 craftings, 3 signs at a time, and I'm going to need 11 dispensers to get doing anything at the moment. So, off to grab materials.
But yeah.
Blessedly, at least, I'm here at base.
Honestly, Nightingale so far is bloody wonderful. I've been loving every minute of like gameplay time that I've had. And I'm trying to slow myself down on it, honestly, because I would like to actually play some of the early stuff with people on stream rather than running ahead at full tilt and suddenly finding myself at the end game and going, how did I get here? So yeah. But yeah, a lot of people have been playing Nightingale in the Discord, so like, if people want to talk about Nightingale, that's the place to do it. If you want tips and tricks and wild things, Neff is the person to ask. Because Neff has been going wild.
You have a Discord?
Oh, shut up, Line.
What?
Yes, I have a Discord. You know I have a Discord. We've been over this. Probably once a day since we met at this point.
That doesn't sound right.
Okay, probably 3 times a week since we met.
That doesn't sound right either.
2 times a week? I know we stream at least that much. Now you've got people in my chat doing that. Hate you.
What?
Yes, I have a Discord, everybody. If you do exclamation mark Discord in the chat, you can find the link to it.
Those were the days. I've definitely been to a Bastion. I've definitely did a chest in a Bastion Rim. I don't know where the Netherite upgrades go. I swear I would have had it. But nothing I'm wearing is Netherite.
Has someone stolen it from you?
Unlikely?
Have you stolen it from yourself?
If I have, why am I not carrying any singular piece of Netherite equipment?
Well, I don't know.
No, I'm not seeing it.
Oh, they're talking about the Discord again. Must be getting close to the top of the hour. I mean, it is getting close to the end of stream, actually. Now that
yes. So I will get this Neverwort farm at least up and functional for the next time I stream, which may be Thursday, depending on how well updating stuff goes for Nightingale. And then I need to come up with a design for a data-driven brewing stand system. Which sounds like a lot of fun to build to me, personally, because I'm a massive nerd.
Of course you are.
And who doesn't love building computer architecture in their video game?
Yeah, Thursday's hopefully Nightingale stream with me and Lying and Dave. Hopefully. Fingers crossed. If we
my
can
6 scars
get
after I lose my fight with a
sorted.
surgeon. I mean, I've got my own share of scars from fighting a surgeon.
I
wouldn't call them
mean,
very gnarly scars, but they are scars.
sure, AJ. I mean, you're gonna send me those pictures anyway, but like, sure.
Make sure to time it so that you know Lucien is eating at the time.
I have seen plenty of top surgery scars in my time lying. I'm not that fussed, honestly. I've seen worse.
Oh.
I've had worse done to me.
Huh.
No, I have not had top surgery. That's not what I mean.
Yeah,
I just mean that I have had, like, bodily malfunctions in the past, which have caused to require surgery. It's not fun.
You. Used to test that.
By the way, there is a stealth stat which reduces detection range, and if you build a hunting knife with a high stealth stat, you'd have an excuse to play it on Tuesdays. What does that mean, Neff?
That is a question, isn't it?
Oh! Because Tuesdays are my stealth game days. Tuesdays are my thief game days. Like, Tuesdays are the games that I used... Tuesdays are the days I used to play games that about things about assassination and stealing and murder.
Oh, like Assassin's Creed.
Like Assassin's Creed, Dishonored, Thief. Thief is this Tuesday, actually. That's what I'm playing.
Somewhat predictably, there are indeed eggs in the sorting system over here.
I'm somehow not surprised.
No, I think it's worth it.
Yeah? Did you turn your chicken farms on again? Did you turn your chicken farms on again?
I don't remember.
I don't think you did.
I'd have done. It's conceivable that I did, but I don't remember. Bring it back.
But yeah, hopefully on... Oh yeah, I forgot I said that.
Huh?
It's Sai's quote from me.
Oh,
I'm weird with a top hat.
Okay, no, I did not re-engage them. I've just been collecting eggs. Oh, so many eggs. You want to hear these things go ham? Or chicken, as the case may be.
Or chicken. Oh, yep, there they go. There they go. But yeah, hopefully on Thursday we'll be playing Nightingale. That'll be fun. And then...
There we go.
On Tuesday I'll be playing the 2016-2018 release of Thief. And on Wednesday I will be playing Lies of P.
Let's see. Tuesday for me, I will be doing some visual work on the Onryoji boss mob of Trixie Foxes.
Ooh.
And then Thursday we'll hopefully be doing Nightingale, if not some more potion craft work here. And then on Friday the Witch will be doing some Dead by Daylight and random games, i.e. usually Sea of Thieves on my Saturday. And then I'm off until the next Friday.
Yeah.
It's rare that I get like vacation time.
What do you mean don't make that
I don't
face?
know that
This is my face. This is my face. How dare you?
I can see what they mean.
I only have the one face.
Oh, wait, we can solve that.
Wow. Rude.
Oh, have you never seen Face Off? The classic movie with
No,
Nicolas Cage?
no, I don't want to see that movie. Thank you very much.
Well, we were just talking surgical
I'm
stuff,
good.
right?
I'm good. I do not want to see Face Off ever. Thank you very much.
The classic with Nicolas Cage? No? Oh.
No, thank you. I'm good. Horror movies are a no for me. Thank you very much.
That's not a horror movie. That's an action movie.
Counts. It counts.
I disagree.
Uh-huh. But yes, so hopefully Thursday, Nightingale, with Lying, maybe with Dave as well, depending on how Dave's feeling. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. And Lying is going to enjoy the narrator, I am sure.
Why do you say that way?
What do you mean?
What do you mean I'm going to enjoy the narrator?
The narrator is Puck.
A specific, performance of, or what?
As in an interpretation of.
Okay.
And I think you'll enjoy that interpretation of Puck. Or you'll hate it. One of the two. I don't know which yet.
Maybe I'll find it trite and derivative, we don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. I personally enjoy it, but, you know.
Yep, that is at stage 2. This is good.
Yeah. Right. Well, ladies, gentlemen, all variations thereof. I'm gonna call it.
I believe they've tapped out. Nope, nothing. You went silent like mid-sentence there for a hot second.
Sorry. I did tap out, yes. But yes, ladies, gentlemen, all variations thereof. I am going to call it for this evening. Oh, lines wet the nether wart. Yeah, I'm going to call it for the evening. Thank you all very much for joining us. Who are we going to raid? Who are we going to raid? Let's see, who's live? Ooh. Ooh. Let's go raid a Fionn.
Right.
We're gonna go raid a Fionn.
Where can I send people? Let me see. There's a Stroof running. I'll send you off to see Stroof.
Thank you very much for joining us, everyone.
He's gonna be
I hope you had fun.
yeah.
I certainly did. We'll see you tomorrow for a thief.
And otherwise, I'll catch you on
Maybe
Tuesday.
we'll finish the game this time.
I may have to reschedule and/or postpone some streams this week just because of how much heavy lifting and labors I have to do.